out hard, and I think they're looking forward to it, and I know the fans are looking forward to a great season.
Eddie, I know you talked to head coach Robert Barber a little bit about his team, and you were out here at the alumni game. Lumps had a good time Saturday, didn't they?
They sure did. It was fun. You could sense some of the amusement in the crowd, especially with some of the alumni players and how they've changed over the years. But it's a lot of fun when that happens and those teams get together. Got a good chance also that afternoon to visit with Coach Wayne Schmidt, and he shared some of the insights into the team as well. And Ryan Cooper, who pitched some that day, is going to be a member of this pitching staff going forward. He had a good outing on Saturday in that alumni game, and it's going to be a fun team to watch this year.
Now, tell us a little bit about Weimer. Do we know much about the Wildcats?
We have not had a chance to do much homework on the Wildcats, but James has some information because he knows some of the folks and the players over there a lot better than I do.
Well, starting, we got Coach Lee Miller, who's been there for 6 years now, so he's had a lot of success this year. You know, Weimer lost quite a few players last year, quite a few starters. They lost a pitcher who's now going to a junior college, and that was big. He started all 4 years, but now they come back, and maybe if you want to say they're a little bit of a rebuilding type year, but the kid we're going to see on the mound, Reed Linger, is a junior. He had a 2.62 ERA last year. For Weimer. He actually pitched in the scrimmage that LaGrange had against Weimer earlier. Pretty good mechanics, tall, lean kid. Throws a lot of strikes. Didn't see a lot of off-speed or curve pitches from him, but that's not uncommon in scrimmages. You want to work on that fastball and placement. So that's their ace, and we'll see him tonight.
All right, while we've got a moment before they announce the starting lineup, let's go back to the studio and pause for this break. You're listening to LaGrange Leopard Baseball on KTIM FM 89.1.
Second base, number 12,
John Askins and James Aymond and Eddie Oppermann back at LaGrange Leopard Field, where we're announcing the starting lineups. Guys, who's leading off and who's playing for the Wildcats this evening?
Starting lineup for our visitors from nearby Weimer this afternoon, or evening I should say, is we're going to watch the sunset here in a little bit. Leading off for Weimer is the catcher, Zach Kuntz. Batting second, playing center field, is Trenton Chenard. Batting third at shortstop is going to be Carter Helmkamp. The pitcher, Sam Riedlinger, will be batting in the cleanup spot. Number 5 will be the third baseman, Holt Irvin. Number 6 at first base, Nick Clazel. Number 7 hitter in right field is going to be Houston Hager. In the 8th slot is going to be the left fielder, Dylan Varley. And batting ninth is going to be the second baseman, Justin Jacobs. And that's your lineup for the Weimer Wildcats.
Wildcats decked out tonight in all white with purple numerals and white hats with purple bill. And their starters are along the third base line. Here comes the rest of the reserves. And here comes some of the reserves for LaGrange. And here's the national anthem. And of course, the flags are flying half-mast because of the tragedy down in Parkland, Florida. Our hearts go out to that community. And, guys, it just sort of reminds you of the frailty of the human condition. Stuff like that could happen really anywhere around the country, unfortunately, couldn't it?
Of course. We're all blessed to be here today and a beautiful day and enjoying this great time and watching these boys, young men, play baseball where they're not getting that opportunity probably over there. And like you said, our hearts go and prayers go out to them.
All right, we're about ready to get underway, gentlemen. Welcome to the 2018 baseball season. On the mound, right-hander to start for the Grange Leopards, Eddie, and take it away. James?
Well, on the mound we got Cameron Chorns, and Cameron really came on last year as a junior. Got some spot starts as a sophomore, but Cameron is he pitches from the stretch 100% of the time. He generally has an okay fastball. He tends to work backwards. Really does an excellent job hitting his spots, keeping the ball low. His curveball and off-speed pitches have a lot of movement. So he really sets up his fastball with his off-speed, Eddie, and does a great job of watching this preseason and all that, doing the scrimmages, and it looks even better than it did last year. Really anxious to see him go against Weimer tonight.
And that pitch for a rotation is so critical, and when you've got a young man like that can maybe offset some of the rest of your rotation that might rely on a little bit more speed of their repertoire, and you have a gentleman like this who can work his spots, work his corners, pitch with that finesse, that's just an extra deadly weapon that you can have coming out of that pitching staff.
No doubt about it, and he's not a big-time strikeout pitcher. He pitches kind of to contact, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. And really, he has a defense set up. He's very fortunate to not worry about having a hitter make contact, especially like I mentioned up the middle. LaGrange with Foley and Aymond at shortstop may have the best middle infield combination in the district, so look forward to that.
That is so important when you've got a pitcher like that does pitch that way. When you've got a sound defense, he can feel good about what he's doing. And we are underway. The first pitch for tonight's ball game, the start of the 2018 season, and it goes a little bit low outside for ball one.
And we have Blackwell also back there catching tonight.
Little ground chopper to the second baseman. Furley has it, throws on to first base, and that is going to be out number one. Rocky at first making that play over there.
And really good job by second baseman Furley going to get the ball, really slow rollers, getting it on the run and throwing it to first. Go play all around. And like I was saying, nice to have Blackwell, who also is a senior back there, catcher, works hard, 2-year starter.
Makes a difference, too, when he can work with his pitching staff and they know each other. That experience goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Next batter up for the Weimer Wildcats is going to be the center fielder, Trenton Chenard. And the first pitch from Chorins is also ball one. Here's the next pitch, and it's skied out into the outfield. The right fielder is going to make the call, and the catch for LaGrange, that's Cole Brothers, and that's out number two.
Great job, Cole. We hadn't really talked about it too much, but we've got a pretty good little breeze out there. And Cole did a really good job going to the ball and not letting the wind affect him, camping underneath it and squeezing it.
That's a good point, James, because those outfielders and anything popped up this evening, you got to be ready to circle under it for a little while and see where it's going to come down.
It could be interesting. You can't give up on it.
Here's the first pitch to the number 3 hitter, Carter Helmkamp, and it's going to be outside and low for ball one. Helmkamp, the shortstop for the Wildcats. There's a swing and a miss on the outside corner. Good pitch from Chorins, and that's going to even up the count at 1-1. Here's his wind up and stretch. Ground ball hit sharply to short. Amon's got it. Throws across the diamond to Saki. And real quick, 1, 2, 3. Go the Wildcats.
Really nice to see. Really good, nice efficiency. What I'd say, I told you, Wildcats probably going to put it in play. That's how Jordan's pitches, and there's nothing wrong with that. Defense came out, made their plays. Hey, great deal, great way to get started. Gives the pitcher and the defense a lot of confidence, and let's see if that goes to the plate, translates to the plate with some hits.
And didn't burn many pitches in that first inning.
No, he doesn't. And sometimes a strikeout pitcher, that can kind of work against you. Sometimes you've got to throw too many pitches to strike out. But when you're a contact pitcher, pitch to contact, one or two pitches, throw your strikes, they hit the ball, your defense makes a play, and next thing you know, you've only thrown 2 or 3 pitches, and he might have thrown 8 pitches this inning.
That's about it in that inning, and not everybody's like Nolan Ryan from back in the day. They could throw 120 and never phase him. He's still throwing 100 miles an hour.
That's right. Them days are kind of over.
Yeah, they are.
I think if Cameron threw 120 pitches tonight, somebody would be upset. So it's a new day and age. But here we see Weimer's Riedlinger up on the mound here, and like I said, you'll see he has good control. Not quite. He is a junior, and like I said, he had 2.68 ERA last year, so he has some experience on the mound. Grange did a pretty good job hitting him in the scrimmage. I don't think he's going to be overpowering. Grange just has some good quality at bats. I think he'll have success from him.
Well, Grange will start off this evening with Travis Foley, the leadoff hitter. He's playing second. In the 2 hole is going to be Ryan Cooper, our left fielder. Noah Blackwell will bat third this inning. He's the starting catcher tonight. Weston Aymond, the shortstop, bats cleanup. Jeffrey Ruchek in the 5-hole batting, playing third base. Kyler Saki, the first baseman, followed by Cameron Chorns, and then Cole Brothers and Parker Gage will round out the batting lineup for the Leopards this evening.
And Eddie, what a beautiful view we have. I hope some of the listeners are able to get on Facebook and see this live streaming we got going on, because this is one of the best views in the state of Texas for its high school baseball.
Yeah, you've really got to tip your hat to Mr. John Askins. He has done one fantastic job making all of this happen.
Absolutely.
And here's the first pitch from Riedlinger. It's going to go on the outside for ball 1 to Furley. Wildcats pretty much playing Furley straight away.
And Travis is a senior, 2-year starter, and he's like I say, he's a 2-year starter, senior, and he's a very good hitter. He's a hacker at times, and I see him here up in the count 2-0, and that's very good. Here he is, 3-0. Patience. You want to start off with the game and have patience. Make this pitcher throw a lot of pitches so you can see what he has and get your timing down.
And that also helps those next guys waiting to come up, because they're watching what's taking place as well.
Absolutely. Great job by Travis drawing the walk. I used to have a coach, and I did it to my players. I always said, well, how many at-bats do you have in a game? And, of course, the answer was always 3 or 4, And I said, no, it's not. It's how many at-bats your whole team has, because that's what you got to do. Be in the dugout and watch the pitcher, watch every batter, see what's going on.
Exactly. Furley at first base, and this brings up Ryan Cooper, the left fielder. And Riedlinger is still struggling to throw his first strike, and there it is. That one's on the outside corner up around the letters to Cooper.
And let's see if Travis may try to take second there. Furley knows Riedlinger has somewhat of a high leg kick, so Travis stole about 26 bases last year for his team.
Got some wheels there.
Hey, he's got some wheels. Oh,
well, there it is. He's picked off for first base. The throw goes over to Clazel, then to the shortstop, and he's going to tag him out as he's trying to get back to first. So I think you pegged it, James. He was thinking about going. He just didn't quite get that move down from Riedlinger.
Yeah, that's the thing. You kind of want to get that pitcher to throw over a few times first, so not only you as a base runner can see the move that he has, but also your teammates. And kind of got a little excited. First game of the season, got a little too far off the bag, and that's going to happen. And now everybody knows this kid from Weimer, Riedlinger, has a pretty good move.
Yeah, he does. Here's the next pitch from Riedlinger to Cooper, and that one sails outside. It's going to even the count at 1-1. Just underway here at Leopard Stadium. Wildcats win 1-2-3 in the top of the first, as LaGrange is trying to see what they can do in the bottom half. Here's the next pitch from Riedlinger, and that one's going to sail outside and low. Really looks like, James, Riedlinger's trying to work that outside part of the plate more so than inside. He's not thrown much on the inside half.
Well, in high school baseball, you get a lot of that lately. That's the thing. Work outside, away. A lot of kids have a tendency of really rolling over a ball because they want to be out front all the time. So that's the theory a lot of times with high school coaches of sports pitching. Now, if you're gifted to have a pitcher make them throw about 90 miles an hour, you can bust them inside and all that. But that's kind of what pitchers do in high school now. Outside corner, outside.
Yep. Riedlinger getting set, ready to make his next pitch on this 2-1 count, and here it is to Cooper, and that one sails on the inside, 3-1.
So really, I haven't talked about Cooper very much. He's going to be in the starting rotation this year. He is a 2-year letterman, counting this year. Predominantly plays left field.
Here's the next pitch from Riedlinger, and this one's going to sail outside for ball 4. So he's now walked the first 2 batters he's faced this evening.
Yes, and Cooper has good wheels. He may be one of the fastest kids on the team. Faster than Travis, who stole 26 hard bases. So, once again, I wonder if they talked a little bit on the way back to the dugout and said, hey, this is what he did. Let's see what Cooper's going to do. I imagine Riedlinger's going to start off with a fastball strike, so may not be the first pitch to run on.
And he takes his lead off of first. Here's Riedlinger's pitch, and it's going to be low and outside, and he goes down to second on a kind of a delayed steal, but Cooper is in there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a delayed steal or he just didn't want to repeat what his teammates did. But whatever, he's on there and he's in scoring position, and let's see if Blackwell can't, he's ahead in the count 1-0, and see if he can't maybe hit this fastball he's fixing to get and drive Cooper in.
And in Kuntz's defense, that was not an easy pitch to handle for that throw.
He did a good job out of letting it get by him.
He really did. And this one does skip by him on the next pitch, and over to third is going to go Cooper. So Leopards getting something going here in the bottom of the first. Runner on third. We've got 1 out and a 2-ball and no strike count. Should be right.
Yes, 2 balls, no strikes. And you saw, when you have like a 3 or 4 hole hitter, when you start getting in the middle lineup, pitchers will try to hit the corners. We'll try to throw a little more off speed, try to change up the motion a little bit, and you saw that right off the bat. He threw 2 curveballs to Blackwell, hits in the 3 hole, and so now he's behind in the count. And I think maybe the coach is getting out there and first game of the season, hey son, let's settle down a little bit. He's probably juiced. He's probably trying to overthrow. Right. When they throw them curveballs in the dirt, normally it's because they're gripping the ball pretty hard, because they're tense, and so that's why throwing off-speed curveballs is great when you're a little tired and later in the game maybe.
Struggling with his control here in the first inning, no doubt about it. Coach made his visit, and like you've suggested, James, trying to settle him down a little bit. Here's the next pitch, and that's going to be swung and missed into the mid of Kuntz by Blackwell. Makes the count 2-1. Waiting on deck is going to be Weston Aymond, the shortstop. And to follow him, if this inning continues, it will be Jeffrey Rechek. Riedlinger winds. Here's his pitch, and that one's going to be a little bit low and in the dirt. Makes the count 3-1.
And nice stop by the Weimer catcher. Another curveball in the dirt. Did a good job not letting it get by for a pass ball.
Impressed with the LaGrange batters here in the first inning as well. They're being patient. They're not just hacking away. They're waiting for their pitch.
Absolutely,
There's going to be a foul tip at the plate. Kuntz is going to pick it up, toss it back to Riedlinger, and that's going to fill up the count at 3-2 on Blackwell.
And you made a very good point. Very patient. That's what you want to see. Patience. You want your pitch to be pitched to you. You want to make the pitcher pitch to you, and they're doing a very good job.
Here's Riedlinger, gets his sign, throws 3-2, and a good eye by Blackwell just on the inside for ball 4, and he's going to trot down to first base. LaGrange continues with their inning here in the bottom of the first. Cooper at third, Blackwell now at first, and still only 1 out, and this is going to bring up the cleanup hitter, Weston Aymond. Weston going to be looking for a pitch he can drive, I'm sure. He'd like to get that runner in off the third and get that first RBI of the season.
Absolutely. You wonder maybe if they don't have a take sign coming up, first couple of pitches, try to get Blackwell over to second, get them both in the score position. Or if Blackwell's going to steal right off the bat. We'll see here.
Could be a spot for a double steal as well. First pitch from Riedlinger sails up high to Aymond. It's going to be ball 1. With the speed, Cooper's got it at third. If Blackwell breaks for second, be interesting to see if he'd break for home.
Yeah, and where the throw's going to go, and at least force a throw and make him make a play.
Force some things to happen. Riedlinger in for the sign. Wines throws, and here it is. Sails high and outside to Aymond, 2-0. Again, Riedlinger continues to struggle with that command here in the first inning. Referee Rechek waits on deck for LaGrange.
Really looks kind of uncomfortable right now, settling down. He needs to settle down and
here's his winds and pitch. That one's going to catch the inside corner.
Good pitch. Didn't really give in to him. Pitched him an inside pitch. And, Westerwood did a good job. That's really not a pitch you want to swing at, get jammed, and possibly get into a double play. So, good pitch. Hey, good AB by the hitter on that pitch, especially. So, up 2-1 in count.
Here comes Riedlinger. He's going to throw it to third and try to pick off Cooper. In the meantime, Blackwell's going to take advantage of that, and he's going to scoop down to second.
And we got to really give props to Blackwell. The minute the pitcher went to the third base, it's like he knew what he was going to do. The pitcher knew in advance. Blackwell acted like he knew what the pitcher was going to do, advance, and just took off the minute he made that first move. Second and third runs on score position.
2-ball, 1-strike pitch to Aymond. That one's going to be called on the inside corner. Evens the count up at 2-2. LaGrange got it set up. Runners on second and third, 1 out. The pitch to Aymond is going to be skied out into shallow right field, running back the second baseman and the right fielder coming in. And they call that one the foul ball? Yep. He's sending Cooper back to third. Just dropped outside of the right field foul line. Shallow right field, just a little bit behind first base. But you had your right fielder, Houston Hager, as well as your second baseman, Justin Jacobs. Both of them busting forward, but neither one could quite get there.
Yeah, just kind of in a spot, no man's land.
No man's land.
Good hustle.
There you go. Here's the next pitch to Aymond. This one's going to be skied up back behind us. Bam! On the rooftop. I'm sure glad we're in a good protected area. How about you?
Well, I tell you, we were working a softball game the other day, and it's like every pass ball was coming out of our head. So yeah, it's good right protection.
Here's the next pitch, 2-2, down low and outside to Aymond. That's going to fill it up. Full count, 3-2.
Well, very good discipline right there.
Excellent.
Try to get him to bite at a low pitch. Now he's full count. See what he's going to throw. I imagine he's going to try to attack him with the fastball, possibly inside.
Here it comes, 3-2, and that one's going to skip in the dirt, low and outside, ball 4. And here we got the bases loaded, all on walks.
It goes to show you right there, how much I know. Came back with a curveball at 3-2, and I guess you got to take that as a compliment if you're Weston Aymond.
Yeah.
Not being given into as a cleanup hitter, not giving that fastball to drive, and so really quality at bat, pitched up the wall, and bases loaded. Very unselfish at bat. Good job.
Very good job. Go ahead and take that base. Yeah, you'd like the RBI, but you know what? If they want to put you on, go ahead and take it, and let's load them up and see what Rechek can do.
Well, and we got Rechek as a sophomore. He's playing third base. Got the opportunity to watch him play for the alumni game. Pretty good little athlete. Covers some good ground over there. Gives you some athleticism at third base. That position was scheduled to be played by probably Tyler Johnson as a starter this season. Tyler's out for maybe a week or two with an injury, and so Rechek did a good job in the alumni game and actually picked up a base hit, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, he did.
I know he's excited to be out there, sophomore. And the great thing about him being out there is he's got a lot of senior leadership to help him along.
That's key. That makes a big difference when you're the younger one of the starting lineup. Here's the first pitch to Rechek from Riedlinger. That one's hit hard down the third base line, but foul.
And there you see the little sophomore jumping on the first pitch.
Man, he's not waiting, is he?
He's not. Even though the pitcher's been struggling, but you know what?
He's anxious. Yeah, let's go get it.
You can't criticize that.
Nope.
You don't want him thinking too much.
Here we go, the next pitch from Riedlinger, and that one's going to be skewed down the first base line. It's going to roll foul. Clazel's going to pick it up, toss it back to the pitcher. And just like that, Rechek's in the hole 0-2.
And Redlinger, this is the first batter he's kind of been on top of, got an advantage, 0-2 count. So if you notice, he's been throwing away his curveballs and trying to jam the hitters on fastballs inside. And his command has gotten a little better, it looks like, the last two at-bats, even though he walked Aymond.
Here comes Redlinger with the next pitch, and that one's going to be just a little bit high at the letters. Good eye by Rechek, even makes the count 1-2. You know, we didn't track the pitch count, but I don't know how many pitches Redlinger's thrown here in this bottom of the first, but it's a bunch. Here's his next pitch to Rechek. And that one is going to catch the outside corner for call strike 3. That's going to be out number 2 in the inning.
Well, that was a tough at bat. Sophomore, first start as a varsity player, and I'm sure as time goes on, he's going to get more and more opportunities, and he's going to grow, and that pitcher will probably be a little more aggressive next time and do a little better protection maybe with 2 strikes. But he'll get his chance. And
no doubt about it. This is going to bring up the first baseman, Kyler Sackey. And that pitch sails low in the dirt on the outside for 1-0.
And we mentioned the injuries. We've had a few injuries on the Grange team, and Sackey's one of these kids that are going to get the opportunity to show themselves before any the starters come back from an injury. So let's see what he's going to do. Big, strong kid.
Here's the next pitch. Redlinger throws that one and catches on the inside, up around the letters. Going to move the count out to 1-2.
Guys, one good thing, the wind's dying down a little bit, isn't it?
Here's the next pitch from Redlinger. That one's going to be skied back behind us, out of play.
Yes, and no rain. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
You can see from the video, there's threatening skies and a lot of clouds, but so far, we're staying dry.
1 2 strike count to Sackey. Redlinger looking in, brings it home, and that one's going to sail up and high for ball 2.
It's interesting. Weimer has a defense where they're playing their infield back, willing to give the runner at third, willing to let LaGrange score on a ground ball. Or
that pitch from Redlinger sails inside and actually hits Sackey. Must have caught just a part of his jersey. It didn't appear to hit his body any, but he'll take it. That's a trip down the first. Cooper is going to come in from third, and LaGrange is going to take a 1-0 lead.
Hey, way to hang in there.
Yeah, if you're going to hit me, hit my jersey.
Got an RBI. Got to get on base. Got rewarded. Great job.
Absolutely. This brings up the pitcher, Cameron Chorens for LaGrange. Takes the first pitch from Redlinger on the outside corner for call strike 1. It's been a long inning. I didn't keep track of the time of when this bottom half of the first started, but it's gone on a while. No balls, 1 strike count to Chorens. Swing and a miss on a pitch on the outside. Makes the count 0-2.
And once again, with 2 outs, the Weimer defense is playing back, trying to cover ground so they can go to multiple bases for an out.
Redlinger's pitch up and in. Backs Chorens out a bit. Makes the count 1-2. Sure, LaGrange, with all this activity on the base pass, they'd like to cash in if they could and put some more runs on the board.
Absolutely. Give Cameron, he has a chance to help himself out.
And there's going to be a swing and a miss, a pitch down and out, and that's going to retire the side. LaGrange does get 1 run out of it. No hits, but 4 or 5 walks, a hit batter. And we're going to get ready for inning number 2. And it's LaGrange Leopards 1 and the Weimer Wildcats nothing.
Guys, while we've got this moment, let's pause and go back to the studio. And we'll be back with more LaGrange Leopard baseball right after this message.
The Fayette County Record newspaper is proud to support this broadcast of LaGrange Athletics. The Fayette County Record is the largest circulation newspaper between Austin and Houston, with 6,000 copies sold each issue. It comes out twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays and is mailed to subscribers and also sold at 51 area locations and also online at FayetteCountyRecord.com and Facebook for regularly updated local news.
John Askins and James Aymond and Eddie Oppermann back at LaGrange Leopard Baseball Diamond in LaGrange, Texas. We're glad you're with us on 89.1 FM and around the world on the World Wide Web. Glad you're watching also. This is just sort of a kickoff, the first pitch to baseball season. We're going to be covering baseball as well as softball. Softball is on the road tonight over at Hendrickson, and we'll pass along scores as we get them for you. But as you can see and you can hear, we're really upgrading what we're and we're glad you're with us. And now back to Eddie.
Thank you, John. Kind of a tricky one this evening. We're doing a telecast and a broadcast at the same time, right?
That's right.
Here's Torrance back out to start the second inning for LaGrange. First pitch is going to be fouled off right back here in the front of us, James.
And Eddie, I want to tell John, I've been a listener ever since he got on air last year, and what a great thing that he was doing, bringing this broadcast and on Facebook and on the radio to everybody out there. I mean, how many programs in the state of Texas, baseball programs, have something like this to brag about, or sports programs or whatever? I know John's very involved with the media with high school, so really appreciate it, John. You do a great job and happy to be a part.
Well, appreciate it, guys.
Got to tip your hat. Awesome job, John. That pitch was also fouled off by Radlinger, and that makes the count 0-2. Next pitch from Chorens sails a little bit low and outside for a ball. Makes the count 1-2. Batter is Sam Riedlinger, the pitcher for the Wildcats this evening.
And good job by Chorens to get ahead in the count 2-2. Threw a couple of race pitches right there, just nibbled at it to give him see if he would bite, and Riedlinger didn't.
Next pitch, that one's going to be lined in the center field for a base hit. We hit that one sharply. It's picked up out there by Parker Gage and brought back into the infield. So Riedlinger on at first with a single for the Wildcats.
And really, Cameron, I kind of mentioned earlier, Cameron Jordan, he lives low, which means that he keeps his pitches low. And that pitch right there, he got even with the count, left a little high, and Riedlinger really had a really awesome at bat. He got behind in the count and laid off a couple curveballs. The next thing you know, he gets a pitch to hit. So, great job and by the hitter.
Absolutely. We're going to get a courtesy runner for Riedlinger.
You kind of. Hoping to
Make it happen, right?
Does that very well,
Absolutely. Good point.
0-2 in the count now, so ahead in the count against the hitter, and great opportunity right here.
Here's a pitch from Chorens, and that one is going to be called strike 3. Back to the bench goes Irvin, and there's a strikeout. So Chorens would love the double play, but he certainly take that strikeout as well.
Absolutely. It's kind of funny because I know that hitter, he was thinking off speed with an 0-2 count behind in the count, and Chorens snuck a little fastball on that outside corner and froze him completely, so great job.
Brings up the big first baseman, Nick Clazel, batting from the left side. Blah down at first, takes his lead. Here's the pitch, sails inside for ball 1.
He is a big guy, isn't he?
He's a big young man. I bet he was a major contributor for football season. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Chorens, of course, want to be careful with him and not give him just too much to swing at. 3:15 down the line to right field, 3:15 down the line to left, and 3:69 to dead away center here at left.
And guys,
Stadium.
this baseball district that Weimer is in has always been tough, and usually they produce a state champion.
Yes. For the first few years, DeShiner and Weimer and
Flatonia is 1-2.
Flatonia has probably been the most recent recipients of championships. I think they won a couple over a 3-year period.
Fayetteville went last year in the 1. That's the interesting thing about this district. The 1A teams play with the 2A teams, and when they get to the playoffs, then they divide.
Here's the next pitch to Clazel. The previous one was fouled out of play, making the count 1-1. This one swung on and missed, goes past Blackwell as a pass ball to the backstop, and down the second goes Blaha.
Going back to your point, John, yeah, it's like an 18 district, and you have Moulton and Fayetteville. They automatically go, I guess, what you would call them to the 1A division.
1A, and I'll tell you what, that prepares them for, that tough competition really prepares them.
Absolutely.
Here's Jorans. Good pitch to Clazel. Swing and a miss up around the letters. Another strikeout. K number 2 for this inning, makes it 2 away.
And that was very interesting pitch by Jorans. He's been going curveball, low, then he goes high on a fastball. He changes that eyesight of the hitter. You know, the hitter's used to looking down, so when he throws that high fastball, it looks like a beach ball. And, you know, big man like himself, he was wanting to drive and really wanted it.
He did. This brings up the right fielder, Houston Hager, for the Wildcats. We're still early. We're in the top of the second. LaGrange leading by the score of 1-0. Here's a pitch from Jorans. That one catches the outside corner.
Very good pitch to start off with, low, outside corner. You know, even if that hitter gets up there and swings at the ball, he's just probably going to roll over here, a soft grounder somewhere.
Guys, smile for everybody.
Hello.
Say hello. There you go.
There we are. That pitch swung on and missed. Makes the count 0-2.
John, if I knew you were going to be taking pictures, I'd have combed my hair.
There you go. Not in this one.
That pitch is lined into back behind second base. Aymond scoots over, makes the catch to retire the side. For the Wildcats, they don't come up with any runs. They don't get one hit by Redlinger, and they strand Blaha at second. We're moving on to the bottom of the second inning. Leopards on top, 1-0.
Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with more LaGrange Leopard baseball right after this message.
It's about time, Fayette County. It's about time. It's about K-Time. It's about KTIM FM at 89.1. You found us, and you know that we stand for community involvement on our Facebook page and also on Twitter. We're the source for local news. We're K-Time.
John Askins, Eddie Oppermann, and James Aymond back at LaGrange Leopard Stadium. 1-0 LaGrange over Weimer, and we head to the bottom half of the second inning.
Here, let's see Redlinger back on the mound again, and had a long inning. But had a chance to go back and sit down a little bit and catch his breath. We'll see how he gathers himself. And sometimes, you don't quite get warmed up like you want to, and it causes a little bit of anxiety and control issues. And I think that's what you kind of saw that first inning. So it'll be interesting what's going to happen here with him this inning. If he gains his composure a little bit, and he's hitting towards the bottom part of the lineup in LaGrange. His batters if he's real aggressive and try to get his head in the count.
Yeah, and you brought up the point early. A little bit of nerves probably and jitters as well. First game of the season, and it takes a little bit to get yourself in that settled down mode to where you've got control of your pitches and your mechanics is working in sync with everything. And
oh, absolutely. He's kind of I don't know who has the advantage here because he did pitch about 3 innings in Weimer against LaGrange in a scrimmage about 2 weeks ago, and they got to see him, but he got to see some hitters, and I noticed he kind of pitched around a few, and said we'll take our chance with who's coming up next, and so it kind of worked out for him. LaGrange only scored 1 run, so you want to do a little better job if you're LaGrange capitalizing on them base runners, but on the other hand, they did a very good job being patient at the plate.
Yeah, they did. We're all set to go here in the bottom of the second. Leading off for LaGrange, the right fielder, Cole Brothers. First pitch, swung on and missed, strike 1.
And Cole is a new varsity starter this year. He's been with the program for 4 years now and worked hard, and he's getting an opportunity tonight. I'm glad to see that.
Pitch from Redlinger, sails low and outside in the dirt. Evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. James, this field is beautiful, isn't it?
What can you say? And we have kind of 2 fields in LaGrange that are both outstanding with the fairground fields. We're very blessed in this community to have two ballparks of that stature.
Next pitch swung on, fouled back here against the backstop. Moves the count out to 1-2 against Brothers.
Good to see it. Cole up there, he's out there hacking. Did a great job on that. Just missed it a little bit, and we'll see another pitch.
Riddlinger winds, throws. That one's going to be down in the dirt. Evens the count at 2-2 to Brothers. Following Brothers, it's going to be the center fielder Parker Gage, and then we're going to flip it back over again to the top of the lineup to Travis Farley. Here's a pitch. Outside corner. Oh! Cole looks at it and said, man, I wish I had that one back. Just caught the corner for called strike 3.
Well, really,
pitch by Riddlinger.
Yes, very nice pitch, and you see the transition of how he really mixes up his pitches. Doing a good job. I don't know what coach is calling him for Weimer, the pitching count, but he does a real good job mixing things up. Kept Cole a little off balance.
Yes, he did. This brings up Parker Gage, playing center field tonight for the Leopards. First pitch from Riddlinger sails high and outside, ball 1.
Parker Gage, a junior, had some spot time starting last year at center field. Naturally had quite a few injuries, and getting a chance to be a full-time starter this year.
Good fastball from Riddlinger, swing and a miss by Gage, evens the count up at 1-1.
His sister was a pretty good softball player too, Abby.
Absolutely. Probably picked up some pointers from her. May not admit it though, but
no, probably not. That pitch sails on the outside corner, called by the umpire for call strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Gage, and here comes that wind again. Here's Riddlinger, winds, throws. That one's going to be fouled back out of play.
Very good job by Parker. 1 ball, 2 strike count, down in the count. Riddlinger threw him an outside curveball, and really the only thing Parker did really was just foul it off and live to see another pitch, and man, that's big.
Stay alive in the count. Gage looking for the next one. Here it comes. That one's going to be one hopper back to the mound. Riddlinger grabs it, throws on the first to Clazel, and that's going to be out number 2.
Well, here you start to see it, like I mentioned before. Sometimes you're not quite warm enough, and you come to the game as a pitcher and have a rough start, rough first inning, and now you see Riddlinger have a lot of better control. Looks like his poise and mannerisms are even better out there, and looks like a different pitcher.
Yeah, he looks a little more relaxed for sure. It's going to bring up Travis Farley. He walked his first time up. Takes that pitch on the outside, ball 1.
Farley is, Eddie, probably one of the players that got a lot of preseason mention in TexasBaseball.com, that publication.
Good ball player. Farley fouls that one back out of play.
Yeah, Travis is a 2-year starter. Stole a lot of bases. And he did get some starts as a sophomore. So he's got some experience, played a lot of travel ball. And like I mentioned, the middle infield that LaGrange has is very tough this year as far as quality-wise.
Here's a pitch to Farley. Fouls that one back against the screen.
I like to watch Travis hit. He really, I don't know if he's really a leadoff hitter because he really takes his cuts, and it's fun to watch, and you like to see that in a ball player.
He's aggressive. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be skied up on the infield.
Could be trouble.
Backing up as the second baseman, but he's going to give away to the right fielder for the Wildcats. That's Houston Egger who puts it away. And the Leopards go quietly here in inning number 2. 3 up, 3 down. We played 2 here at Lep Stadium. LaGrange 1, Weimer nothing.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's go back to the studio and turn it back to Michael Bates, who is manning the board tonight. And we'll be back right after these words.
TFE Metals flexes its manufacturing muscle with specified components for the energy sector. Located in Brenham, Texas, halfway between Austin and Houston, TFE Metals specializes in critical application components made of custom high alloys at close tolerances. What makes them critical is their use in subsea drilling, well isolation, and intervention and stimulation. For manufacturing muscle, visit the company's website at tfemetals.com.
It's a pitching duel in this first game of the high school baseball season. 1-0. Weimer trails LaGrange as we head into the top half of the third inning.
It's good to be here tonight at Leopard Stadium. I'm Eddie Oppermann, flanked to my right by James Aymond, and of course Mr. John Askins, who puts all of this together. I don't know how he does it. He's got wires all over the places. He's got cameras. He's got boxes. And he makes it all come together like magic.
Yeah, like magic. People see me here 5 minutes before we go on the air. They know how magic it is.
But look how it all comes together, John. You're good, man. That's all that's to it. Here we go. Moving on to the top of the where were we? Top of the third. This is
get that scoreboard right here.
Yeah, let's get
all
this
right.
on
Okay,
here.
I'm sorry.
That pitch is fouled off back by the Leopard dugout. No balls and 1 strike.
So Taylor's been kind of cruising along. He's given up 1 hit, and the only hit of the game, in fact. But really, his defenses came up and played really good. And Blackwell's doing a good job back there. And let's see if we can have a quick inning and get them bats going again.
This is Dylan Varley at bat for the Wildcats. That pitch caught the outside corner, strike 2. Look at the scoreboard. I guess they're anticipating Weimer's not going to score in the third. It's already a 0 up there.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what threw me off. It's like, come on now, I know we're in the third inning. Why is there a 0 up there? I got to find some reason for doing that,
Hey,
you know.
We all got to have a backup.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Varley. Next pitch from Chorens. That one got him swinging and missing on the outside. Strikeout for Chorens. And that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Justin Jacobs. He plays second base for the Wildcats.
Very good job by Chorens. Gets ahead in the count, puts pressure on the hitter to make him protect, and finishes him off with an outside curveball that may or may not have been a strike, but it was too close to take.
You don't have to throw 100 miles an hour to strike him out, do you?
No, sir, you sure don't. It's all about location, movement, and then your velocity kicks in. And like I said, Cameron's kind of a backwards pitcher, which means he sets his fastballs up by his off-speed and curves.
Thank you for explaining that.
Well, you know.
That's good, because sometimes you talk about pitching backwards, not everybody maybe understands what that means. So that's good to explain.
And most pitchers, rely on their fastball, and that's their number 1 pitch, and then they back it up with off-speed.
That pitch is going to be fouled out of play. It's going to even up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. We've got 1 out here in the top of the third as Varley swung and missed.
And this is really Cameron's MO. This is him on the mound. He will get some spot time, I assume, from what I've seen in the outfield.
Pitch just misses on the inside corner. Jacobs bats from the left side. And that pitch called a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, and Cameron really wanted that one. I don't blame him. He threw a fastball and busted him in, but Blue just would not help him out on that, so he's down to count 2-1.
Here's a pitch down. Rolls back to the backstop.
Well, I said 2-1. I guess it was really 3-1 because it's a walk.
It's a walk, yeah. Pass ball. Down to first goes Jacobs. And if I'm looking right, that's the first walk tonight by Cameron.
Weimer, catcher, number 3, Zach Coates.
Flip it back over to the top of the lineup for the Wildcats. Here's Zach Kuntz, the leadoff hitter. Down at first, Jacobs. Pitch down in the dirt. Good block by Blackwell.
Very good job. He got down, got his body in front of it, glove down. Didn't turn sideways, so when the ball ricocheted off of him, it went straight towards the pitcher, which is what you want.
It's not as easy as it looks to do, is it?
No, sir, and I bet you Noah Blackwell has a lot of bruises to show for all the practice he's done trying to make that, perfect that blocking balls.
That pitch by Chorens fouled back out of play. Evens up to count at 1-1 on Kuntz.
Got 1 out, got the middle infield playing halfway depth or double play depth, and this is a good opportunity right here with a 1-1 count, run on first to try to turn one.
Chorens looks in, gets set for the pitch. Here it comes, and it's going to be fouled back out of play. Again, you're so right, James. He He just nibbles around the corners. He's got control of his pitches. He's not blowing people away. But at the same time, he's keeping the Weimer batters off balance, and they just can't get a good hack at any of his pitches.
Yeah, you said it, the right word, off balance. Mess that, continue to change up the timing.
Jacobs was bluffing the run from first. Chorns looks him back over. Now gets ready for the next pitch, and here it is to Kuntz. Down to second. On the steal is Jacobs, and the throw by Blackwell is going to be in time.
And very good job. You know, Cameron doesn't have a very high kick, leg kick, so he gets, even though he doesn't throw really hard, he still gets the ball at the home plate quick. Noah did a great job of getting the ball down, and Furley covered it on in and scooped it up. It was a one-hopper, but it was right over the bag. All he had to do was drop the glove, and then got him. So good job. Once again, the Grange defense showing up.
Blackwell and Furley both executed that one very well. Here's the next pitch from Chorns, and that one's going to be swung on and missed. Out number 3. So the Wildcats get a runner on a walk, but that's it, especially thanks to the throw him out by Blackwell to Furley. And we've completed 2.5 with the Weimer Wildcats. Nothing, and the LaGrange Leopards 1.
And we'll be back to more action as we go back to the studio, and we'll come back in this 1-0 game right after these words. John Askins, Eddie Oppermann, and James Aymond. Guys, let's talk a little bit about the schedule that we'll have. I know that LaGrange will be here in baseball hosting their own tournament. We'll obviously be covering that. We're talking about going to the Kilgore tournament. And then it's going to be a tough district race. Giddings is once again the pick to win the league, but you know the league race went back and forth all year last year, and LaGrange and Giddings fought it out until last weekend. Go ahead.
And John, I believe that's going to be the case as well. You have a 5-team district. I think you can say Smithfield is probably going to struggle a little bit this year, but you've got 4 teams in Caldwell. You got Caldwell, LaGrange, Giddings, and Navasota. Navasota actually being a Division I school in 4A, the biggest school in the district. They all have an opportunity to win. It's a district where any day anybody can win, and we can start and set the course of this is how we think it's going to be, and it could be totally flipped at the end of the season. Injuries are going to come into effect in the play, and but very similar teams, 4 very similar teams. It's going to be very interesting and entertaining.
We're ready to start things off here on the bottom of the 3rd inning. Sam Riedlinger back out on the mound for the Wildcats, and leading off for the Leopards is going to be Ryan Cooper. He walked in the 1st inning. He takes that pitch low and outside, ball 1.
And really would like to see the bats come alive right here. They've seen Riedlinger, and he's thrown quite a few balls. And there we go.
There's a line shot just past the second baseman in the center field. Ryan Cooper down to first base with his first hit of the season.
A very good job by Ryan. He started Ryan off with outside curveball for a ball and came back with a fastball to get ahead in the count and really laid it on a tee, kind of, so to speak, for him. And Ryan did a good job letting him get deep, using his hands, driving it to right field, not trying to do too much.
And Jacobs just couldn't get to it either. The ball was hit too hard. Trenton Chenard for the Wildcats got it back in from center field. Down at first is Cooper as he takes his lead. First pitch to Noah Blackwell is going to be outside for ball 1.
So here we see the Weimer defense like LaGrange's with a runner on first and nobody out, middle infield playing in, preparing for double play depth. Third baseman's actually on the grass protecting for a bunt, but I don't think that's going to happen. They're here tonight.
Very true. Here's the next pitch from Riedlinger. That one catches the inside corner. Evens it counted 1-1.
And there you see the curveball outside first pitch, and what does? He misses it, throws him hard inside because that's where the hitter is looking at outside previous pitch. So good ball movement, good placement by the pitcher.
It's probably got him leaning over the plate a little bit as well. This next pitch, there goes Cooper down to second. It's going to be a called strike. No throw down from Kuntz, and easily into second base with a steal, Ryan Cooper.
Yeah, straight steal by Cooper. The pitcher kind of forgot about the runner on first base, and Cooper got an excellent jump. So good to see. Looks like somebody's been doing some homework on the bench.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Blackwell. That one's going to be chopped foul just off the plate. Holds the count at 1-2. Blackwell hanging in there.
So you kind of see the philosophy of everything. Even for going first round, the first inning when LaGrange hit, these, 2, 3, 4 hitters, he's really trying to bust them inside, really starting to jam us up. It's early in the season, and the hitters don't have their timing quite down yet, a little slower hands.
Next pitch, that one's smacked hard in the left field, and it's going to be over the head of Dylan Varley in left field. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Cooper is going to trot around third easily and score. Blackwell digs into third, and he's going to make it with a triple.
Great job. He, 1-2 pitch, down 2 strikes in the count, and you're thinking, curveball, but Blackwell doesn't bite it. He gets a fastball right down the heart of the plate, and he's not late on it, and he rips it over the left fielder's head.
Yeah, I don't think Varley quite expected him to hit it that far, that hard, and he just didn't have a chance to get back on it in time. Blackwell showing good wheels as well as he rounded the bases and goes into third with a stand-up triple and an RBI at the same time.
Absolutely.
This brings up the next hitter for LaGrange, Weston Aymond. First pitch, called a strike on the inside
And
corner.
I think they got a scouting report on the Weston here. I watched them against a scrimmage, and they left one on the outside corner, and he drove it to right field for their scrimmages now. So they're not giving him anything on the outside.
They're coming inside. Here's the next pitch. That one's hit sharply to short. Picked up there, thrown over to Clazel at first, but easily scoring from third base is Blackwell. And that gives LaGrange 2 runs in the inning and makes the score 3-0 Leopards.
And, you want everybody to get a base hit. You want to keep it going, but priority is scoring runs. Yes, he hit it to short, but he hit it up the middle. He could have hit it to third. He could have hit it back to the pitcher. Run doesn't score. You hit it where they can't get the runner out at home, get an RBI. So good teamwork, good job. Leopards up 3-0.
Here's Jeffrey Rechek. He's going to take first pitch down around the knees for a called strike 1. Hilmkamp as well was playing back on that ball, and he really didn't have a shot at throwing anything at home to get Blackwell. But, again, good job by Aymond. Unselfishness bringing in that run. Next pitch to Rechek, swung on a miss, strike 2.
And, you go back, you think, well, maybe they should have played in. I don't know, but you got a 4-hole hitter who hits the ball hard. You got an infield in. That's not a good combination, and so they let the run score by playing back.
Next pitch to Rechek. He gets some good wood on that one. Skies it out into center field. Coming in to make the catch is Chenard. Hit it hard, but just got it up in the air. Good job by Chenard to make the catch for out number 2. I say put good wood on it. That's good aluminum on it.
Yeah,
right?
you hear the ding.
Yeah, those days of wood are gone.
Man, I've never gotten used to that. And the colleges instituted that, and I was involved with the colleges for a long time. It's unnatural.
Here comes Sackey up to bat for LaGrange. Kyle, the first baseman, takes a pitch down low for ball 1.
Yeah, interesting. Starting off with a curveball with nobody on and 2 out. He's throwing a lot of pitches, so you would think maybe he'd go a little more with a fastball.
Here's the next pitch, foul back against the screen.
James, you may have an opinion on this. Even in the major leagues now, the wood that the major leaguers are using has gotten so brittle that there's so many broken bats now. Maybe they ought to go to aluminum bats one of these days. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure the manufacturers would like that of the aluminum bats because it's generally a little more expensive. But, a lot of these bats, the players like really thin handles on wooden bats and aluminum bats as well. And I think that's why you see a lot of broken bats in the pros now is thin handles and big, strong men swinging them.
Next pitch to Sackey, sails high. Moves the count out to 3 balls and 1 strike. Guys, you remember the days when all the guys were getting kicked out for a while because they had the bats corked and all of that good
Sammy
stuff.
Sosa.
That's down and called for a called strike too. Saki thought he had a ball and it was headed to first.
You talk about that. I get the image of George Brett running out of the dugout after they called him.
There you go.
Called him out after he hit a home run, and actually he didn't have a court. They said he had too much pine tar on it, so maybe the pitcher was gone, you know.
Oh, you can hear the wind, and one of my cameras just fell over with you guys on it. Oh no!
That one you could probably leave down, John. 3-ball, 2-strike count to Saki, and that one catches the outside corner up around the letters. Called strike 3. But LaGrange puts a couple more runs on the board thanks to a single and a triple, and they ground out to short. And the score after 3 complete here at Leb Stadium: Leopards 3, Wildcats nothing.
And we definitely want to hold it here and recognize some of the underwriters on KTIM in our broadcast. That includes the Fayette County Record, Tony Jones Insurance, TFE Industries, the Bugle Boy Listening Room, and of course KTIM 89.1. If you're not familiar with us, we're the brand new community radio station in Fayette County. Not only in Fayette County, but we reach parts of 4 others. We're a 5,000 watt FM station at 89.1. And if you like what you're hearing and seeing, the music, we've got all kinds of original programs. We've got the Lone Star Hotel. We've got Don's Roll on Tuesdays and Fridays. We've got the Sunday Night Idiot Show. Have you guys heard that yet? You guys got to tune in at 6 o'clock on Sundays. It's an incredible rock and roll show. If you like the classic DJ'd rock and roll back from the 70s and 80s and 90s. Mike Slavko is the DJ, former DJ out of San Francisco. It's just a wild man. It's sort of like Wolfman Jack, and it's a lot of fun to listen to. But we're glad you're with us, and we go to the top half of the fourth. Eddie, it looks like they've decided that Weimer's not going to score again because they got a 0 up there already.
It doesn't fail, does it? They're putting up those zeros before the Wildcats even get a chance. It's going to be bad luck one of these times.
And you viewers and listeners from Weimer, that's not us putting the score up.
No.
We're on your side.
We have nothing to do with that. First pitch from Jorans goes to number 17, the center fielder for the Wildcats. That's Trenton Chenard. He made a put out the last inning on a fly ball that was hit to center. I'm sure he's having... All those guys have. Next pitch to Chorin, sails outside in the dirt, ball 2.
So, Eddie, I have to ask you, what do you think about the purple shoes?
That's different. I'm getting used to it. It's good. It matches the jersey.
It's funny because the first time I saw them, they were kind of shiny, white and shiny the first time they were in for the games, and now they got a little dirt on them and all that, and they look like a cleat now. Before they looked like, I thought, it was kind of like Dorothy, with the red shoes, so they had purple shoes on in The Wizard of Oz, so, kind of growing on me.
Here's the next pitch from Chorins. That one gets past Blackwell to the screen. No harm, no foul. Makes a count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Remember way back in the day when the Oakland A's initiated those white shoes?
Oh, yes. Now they're very popular.
Very much so. Here's a pitch from Chorins. That one's going to sail foul.
And you see Cameron throwing an inside fastball with a 2-2 count on it on the hitter, and he'll be a little late. And that goes to show you right there timing. He's throwing curves. All of a sudden he sneaks an inside fastball. Very good location on it.
Good pitch selection. Here's a pitch from Chorins. That one sails a little bit low and outside.
And not a bad miss. He curveball outside. Once again, changing the locations, So great job.
Eddie, you're old enough to remember the first player on your team that wore white shoes, and what a whoa moment that was.
Oh, it was incredible. There's a swing and a miss by Chenard. He goes down swinging. Chorins with the strikeout for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th.
Good job by Cameron. Came back with a high, hard fastball inside, and they hit her a little late on it and snuck it by him. Good job.
You know, John, those white shoes just made you feel that much faster.
That's right.
Even if you weren't, you felt faster. Here's the first pitch. Hit foul down the third baseline by Carter Helmkamp.
There is a great movie. It's a Robin Williams movie from, I guess, the 80s. It's called The Best of Times, where the teams from two little towns go back and play this football game from the past, and Kurt Russell is the quarterback for this one team, and he comes out in white shoes, and it was like, whoa, you know, white shoes. Reno Hightower, you know.
Some things you just will never forget, right?
Oh, I can remember.
It's everlasting memory.
You know, I'm a little bit older than you are, and I can remember when our quarterback of our high school team, and this is 1969-70 season, you know, right after Joe Willie Namath wore, you know, the white shoes.
Oh, yeah.
He came out with white shoes, and it was just wow.
Here's 3-1 count, hit hard into center field. On his horse back is Gage, and gets it in his glove and not quite able to bring it in. And down the second's going to go Helmkamp. You want to score that one in there, or
yeah, you know, it's tough conditions out there, but one of the things Parker didn't quite do is on those balls you've got to really get back. It's a lot easier to get back and come up on a ball than it is to kind of drift and try to time out where it is. So, and it hit the glove. So yeah, we got to get in there. And like I said, this is Parker's a junior. This is his first year starting, so that'll come.
Here's Riedlinger, the pitcher for the Wildcats, up to bat. First pitch from Chorin, sails outside for ball 1.
That was a nice curveball.
That actually was a strike, and yes, it was very nice.
Yeah.
Started him off once again, trying to keep that hitter off balance. Start him off with a curve.
Chorin looks the runner back to second.
Now you will see LaGrange's middle infield with a runner on second are very active, a lot more active than most teams. You've got Weston Aymond calls a lot of pickoff plays. You'll see he'll give signs to the pitcher when the pitcher comes set and the pitcher looks back at the runner. You know, you'll see him making signs, and they've in charge him.
That pitch is skied into shallow right field. On the run for it is Cooper, and he cannot. I'm sorry, Saki, the first baseman.
Yeah, and a good hustle. That was he ran it out and dove, but that was pretty far out of his reach, and you got to come in for the hustle. But as I was saying, you will see, you know, the pitchers for LaGrange look back with a runner on second base and see if they can get a sign, and if there's a lot of what we call daylight between him and the runner and the shortstop will call the play and they'll pick off.
Here's the next pitch coming to Riedlinger. He hits that one on the ground to third. It's called foul. Rechek picked it up. He was getting ready to make the throw across the diamond, but umpire said no, foul ball. Holds the count at 1-2. Riedlinger had a hard single his first time up.
Yeah, he did a good job. He took advantage. He got behind in the count and then fought back to get into the count and hit a liner up the middle.
Chorin's keeping an eye on Helmkamp. Still keeping an eye. Here he comes set, makes a throw to the plate, and it's going to be inside for ball 2.
That was a good miss. We've been getting that call all night long. We just didn't get it that time. So I kind of thought it was a strike, but you know, you're not going to get them all. So it's 2-2. Let's see what Cameron comes back with now.
There's another grounder to third. This time Rechek down on it. It goes under his glove into left. They're waving Helmkamp around third. Here comes a throw to the plate. Skips past Blackwell. Helmkamp will score, and the Wildcats will get on the board. LaGrange 3, Wildcats 1.
Yeah, really tough play. Resnick hasn't played a lot at third base. We knew I mentioned earlier, he was kind of new to it, and he kind of let the ball play him. It was a situation where it was on the third bounce, and instead of probably attacking the ball, he kind of stayed back a little bit.
Guys, before this next batter steps in, let's pause for station identification. You're listening to KTIM FM 89.1 in Ellinger and LaGrange, Texas.
Holt Irvin's going to step in now for the Wildcats. He plays third base, and he struck out in his first appearance against Chorens this evening. Here's a pitch down on the outside, ball one.
And they got in and threw it home, and so the hitter on the air advanced to second base, so he's in scoring position. But one thing I did say I want to point out, I saw Weston Aymond go over there and pat the young third baseman on the back, and that's what I'm talking about, the leadership, and that's what it's going to take. And to be honest with you, we've been short on seniors past couple years on the Grange squad, so the leadership may have been lacking just a tad in some instances, and that goes a long way, on developing as a team.
Really does. You still got a couple of players playing basketball this year that will be on the Leopards baseball squad when their season is done.
Absolutely. We got Mason Muraz, who's a junior, who will be probably the number one starter for LaGrange. He is coming back after a very good sophomore season, which he was named pitcher of the year in district.
That ball was fouled back out of play by Irvin. Makes the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Chorens continues to keep an eye down at second. And I'm sure we didn't catch that, but Zane Blaha is back in as a courtesy runner for Riedlinger. Thought it didn't look quite as tall as Sam.
Now,
here's a pitch in the dirt. Blackwell's kind of struggling getting a hold of it. Throws down the third. It's not going to be in time. And Blaha gets 90 feet away.
And good job. Noah did a good job blocking. He just had a little hard time finding it and threw over to third. Good hustle by the left fielder Cooper to back up the throw. It was a short hop. Third baseman knocked it down, but it could have gone in the outfield, but Cooper would have been right there to prevent a run. So you like to see that as a coach. You like to see movement by ball players that's not really involved in the play at the time on defense.
Here's Chorens looking in. Next pitch, this one's going to be fouled back over our heads here behind home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and John, you're right. They still got a 0 up there for the Wildcats, and we have absolutely nothing to do with that. It is 3-1. Weimer does have a run.
That's exactly right, and we apologize for all the wind noise, but there's really we don't have a crowd mic. We don't have anything but our mics open, and I know it's difficult to listen out there, but we're just doing the best job that we can. And we want to we want to give a shout out after this next pitch to somebody.
Cameron Chorens looking in. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. Comes set. Here's a throw, and that one's going to be ball 4. Skips past Blackwell, but Blaha's going to stay put at third. And down the first goes Irvin with a walk.
Want to give a shout out to Don Blackwell's dad, Richard Hipsher, who'll be watching the game from his hospital room. I told her, Lee Fritsch passed that along, and we told her that we would say hello. Unfortunately, if he's watching on Facebook, he's probably not getting anything because the game is on our webpage, which is ktim.org. Again, if you would like to watch this game, we're live from LaGrange Field here in LaGrange, Texas. Just go to our Facebook page, ktim.org, and you can watch it. And looks like we may have a pitching change here, guys.
Yeah, and getting back to Richard there, he is a very big supporter of LaGrange baseball. Of course, his grandson's the catcher, Noah Blackwell, and he comes almost every game. In fact, even all his grandkids. And we talk quite often, and he's here. He's like a mainstay. So wish him, hey, good health and sitting out there, and so we can see you back at the ball field. And here you go. And I was fixing to say this before before the coach came out. You could tell Cameron was kind of getting tired. He was losing a little bit of velocity. He also was missing a few spots. It looked like he was struggling, and that's not uncommon. It's early in the season. He didn't throw a tremendous amount of pitches, but you're out there, and you tend to get in a situation sometimes at the beginning of the season. Maybe you have a little arm fatigue at the very beginning because you hadn't quite got over that hump, and that may be where he's at. He did a great job. He was very efficient, and his defense played very well behind him. So here we got Parker Gage coming in at center field, and I believe you'll see Cameron Chorens out in center field. I'm sorry, Parker Gage on the mound. coming in from center field, and we'll probably see Cameron Jordan go out to center field.
I don't recall Parker pitching very much last year, so this will be a new role for him this year.
That's correct. And you bring up a good point. He hasn't pitched a whole lot. He pitched the other night against the scrimmage in Gonzales, and was pretty efficient, throw strikes. And once again, he's young. He's a junior, and he hasn't had a lot of experience on the bump. But we'll see the LaGrange senior leadership show up. You see Travis Furley and Wes Aymond on the mound right now, giving him knuckles and support. And not only will they do that, but his whole defense will play very well and get those outs we need. So
now that Mr. Hipsher has had a chance to tune in to the website and get off Facebook the page, we want to give him a shout out. I'm sorry you're watching from your hospital bed, but we want to say hello. And now back to more action.
And get well to come back and see us for the games.
Absolutely. 3-1 LaGrange leading, but the Wildcats are threatening with one out here in the top of the fourth. Parker Gage now on the mound for LaGrange, and he's going to start out by facing the big first baseman for the Wildcats. That's Nick Clazel. Nick struck out in the first inning against Torrance. One ball, no strike count. Here's the pitch from Gage, and that one sails just a tad on the inside. 2-0.
So you see with runners on first and third, middle infield's in for LaGrange halfway to try to keep a double play intact. You got the third base in play in half, even with the bag. So obviously they're trying to turn two.
Here's a pitch from Gage. That one catches the outside corner. And ball strike.
Clazel's probably a pretty good candidate for that. He's a big fella, so I don't imagine he has too great of wheels, but he can hit the ball hard, so we'll see what happens here.
Gage looks in. Here's his pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike two.
Nice pitch by Parker, low and inside, and really, that's a key to pitching to everybody, but especially these bigger guys. They like it high. You want to keep it low at the knees. So if they do hit it, it's going to be on the ground.
Took a little something off of that. Gage looks in, gets set. Here's his pitch. Grounded foul down the first baseline. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Of course, Gage looking for that ground ball for the double play, the pitcher's best friend. Be a good time for that.
Interesting to see if Weimer doesn't be real aggressive here and try to get that runner on first and second scoring position and get out a double play possibility.
There's a pitch, fouled hard down the first baseline. Count holds the 2-2. Blaha down at third as a pinch runner, courtesy runner for Sam Redlinger. And over at first is Holt Irvin, who had walked. Seems like when that wind wants to die down and get a little quiet, here it comes roaring back again. Jerseys on the ball players are blowing as well in that wind. Here's Gage's next pitch, and that one is skied into right field. Back on it, making the catch is Brothers. Here comes the throw, tagging from third is Blaha. He's going to score. They hold Irvin at first, but a sacrifice fly to the right fielder, Cole Brothers, off the bat of Nick Clazel.
We got us a ball game here.
We have a ball game. Makes the score 3-2 LaGrange here in the top of the fourth.
And a good job hitting by Clazel, really. That's what you want to do. That's the main thing. Of course, you'd like to get a base hit out of it or whatever, but you definitely want to drive it for enough that at least you get that RBI and chip away at LaGrange's lead, which they have now at 3-2.
This brings up the right fielder, Houston Hager. He more or less lined out to the shortstop, Weston Aymond, last time. First pitch from Gage goes in the dirt. Good stop by Blackwell.
Excellent stop. Noah had to kind of veer to his right a little bit, but stay low, and he managed to scoop it up and keep the ball in front of him. That ball kicks off to the right-hand side. That runner's in score position at second base, but kept it in front of him, and the runner's still at first.
Leopards got 2 outs now here in the fourth. Next pitch from Gage. It's going to sail back against the backstop. Wildcats, of course, would like to keep this one going. Got a tight ball game, 3-2. Gage gets ready, look in. Houston Hager waiting for his next pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Fouled again, back out of play. It's going to make it 1-2 as Gage gets the advantage.
Yeah, I noticed. He's missing, or he's getting called strikes on it, but he is leaving the ball a little high to the hitters, and got to kind of be a little careful with that. Try to keep the ball low, like we watched Torrance do for 3 innings. Did a good job and let his defense do the work. So I'd like to see a little more of that, maybe out of Parker, but he's doing a good job, especially for his first varsity appearance on the bump.
Gage looks in. Blackwell gives him the sign. Said, here's the pitch. Oh, nice curveball. Called strike 3. Hager takes that one, and Gage gets out of it. But the Wildcats put a couple of runs on the board. We're heading now to the bottom of the 4th. LaGrange Leopards 3, Weimer Wildcats 2.
And while we've got this break, let's take it back to the studio and pause for a 60-second break, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Headquartered in Brenham, Texas, TFE Company is a pioneer in molded polymers. For nearly half a century, TFE Company has raised the standard of what it means for plastic to be a high-performance plastic. No matter the application, TFE Company parts insulate and maintain product purity. Best of all, they're virtually maintenance-free. For extreme performance, visit the company's website at tfecompany.com. This is John Criswell from Manufacturing Marvels.
Hi, we're Tony and Tracy Jones, agent owners of Jones Insurance Services.
Originally founded as the Lindemann Agency in 1957, Jones Insurance Services was incorporated 14 years ago.
To our clients, we thank you for the many years of letting us provide for your insurance needs.
And we welcome you to call to review and update your important insurance coverages.
And if you're not yet a client, we invite you to come by our office or call so that we can make a difference in your personal or business protections.
That's Jones Insurance Services, proudly serving Fayette and surrounding counties.
All right, John Askins with Eddie Oppermann and James Aymond, our resident Cajun from Fayette County. How the Bio Bengals going to do in baseball this year, James?
Well, they played Notre Dame this past weekend and only took 1 out of 3 game series. They're a little weak on pitching, very young in pitching. Lost a lot of players last year, but Coach Marinari does a great job down there, and I would think as the season goes on, they'll get better. They picked 4th to win 4th in the Western Division. So
that's pretty low for a LSU team, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I appreciate the high standards you give my Tigers.
You bet.
But it's all about a progression, and they'll be fine. And it's fun watching them. They had 12,800 in attendance the other night for their opening game.
One of my favorite places to go used to be the old Alex box, and they've got the new box now. And Skip Burtman was a great friend of mine. Built that program. He was a great assistant coach to Ron Frazier, and that whole bloodline led to the success at Miami and LSU. And his assistants are now scattered all over. Speaking of Miami, Jim Morris is going to retire. I heard this is his last year at the University of Miami. Another great coach out there. Hate to see those kind of guys go.
Yeah, they're really old school. They've been on that field a long time, and they did some great things in developing programs. And you hate to see that, but I'm sure one of his protégés will probably be named head coach, or and that's exciting in itself.
Eddie, what's the prognosis here in the bottom of the 4th?
Well, the Leopards holding on to a 3-2 lead, and they're going to lead off in the bottom of the 4th with Cameron Chorens. Wildcats, in the meantime, have made a pitching change as number 5, Holt Irvin, who started at third base this evening, has now moved to the mound. And it looks like we've got Colby Reinashek, who's went in to replace Dylan Varley in left field. There's a shot. That's going to go into left field between the shortstop and the third baseman, and Chorens leads things off here in the bottom half of the 4th with a single.
Great job by Cameron. Let that ball get deep. high fastball, eye level, and really ripped it into left field. And that's what you want to see. You want to get it going. And eventually you see with Cole Brothers up the bat, if maybe we play a little small ball and get Cameron over to second or do a little hit and run. Cameron's got some pretty good wheels.
Cole Brothers, a starting right fielder for the Leopards, is up next.
And good job by Cole. Showed bunt, high pitch, and he laid off of it for it to be called a ball.
Brothers struck out his first time at bat against Riedlinger. Lawrence takes his lead off of first, throw over from Irvin.
And there you see, that's what you want to see. You want to make that pitcher a new pitcher throw over. You want to see what kind of move he has, get his timing down so you can take advantage of it later on in the game and see how a pitcher pitches with runners on compared to bases empty.
Irvin throws over again. Chorins back in safely.
And you see Irvin, he has a pretty good move. He kind of drops his arm angle a little bit and kind of delivers the ball a little late to first, so that may be something to take advantage of.
Pitch sails low and outside to Brothers. Makes the count 2-0.
See third baseman for Weimer on the edge of the grass, maybe anticipating a bunt.
Yeah, there it is. Drops it down. Throw down the first is going to be in time. The sacrifice works.
I'm laughing at James because we're having this wind. I mean, there's really nothing that we can do about it because, and I look at him and I listen to him. He sounds like he's in a tunnel. He's got his hands cupped around his mic there. Thanks. I'm not sure that's the best thing to do. But
okay, all right, learning on the job.
No, it just sort of maybe not in a complete tunnel there.
Okay, all right. So nice job by Cole Brothers getting that bunt down. Did his job. Got a runner on second now. Parker Gage up at the plate.
Parker's moved in from center field to pitch tonight. Here's the pitch by Irvin. It's going to get past the catcher Kuntz and sail to the backstop. Easily moving over to third is Chorins. And he's set up now 90 feet away. Gage grounded out to the pitcher Riedlinger his first time up. Number 9 batter for the Leopards this evening. Waiting on deck, Travis Furley.
So the Weimer defense is playing back all on the dirt in middle infield's playing back and first and third even with the bag. So they're willing to concede the run if Parker can put it on play on the ground.
Here's the pitch, catches the outside corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gage. But you know, he'd be excited to get an RBI this evening.
Absolutely, help his own calls out.
Here's a pitch, foul, back out of play. And you know, as a player, that's something you always talk about in the dugout and at practices the next day. Hey, how many RBIs you got? None? I've got 2, 3. Yeah, in the first game.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a little rhythm going on, you know, and all that.
Here's the pitch from Irvin. Ground ball to second. This is going to plate the runner. Throw over to Clazel at first. And for the out, Justin Jacobs on the put out to Clazel, but again, scoring for LaGrange. Makes a score, is Chorins, makes a score 4-2.
And good job by Parker, you know, especially coming from the bottom of the order, you know, getting that run in. That's the most important thing. You know, you want to put it in play, put it on the ground. Last thing you want to do is pop up or strike out. And so he did his job. Good job.
Back up to the top of the lineup. Here's Travis Furley. Takes a pitch for a called strike. Travis has walked his first time up at bat this evening and flied out to right in his second appearance. Always good to get that run, at least one of those runs back.
Absolutely.
Pitch into Furley, that one called a strike.
And you see Irvin really going to his off-speed stuff, you know, top of the lineup, and you see more in that when you're in the top of the lineup type order hitter, you know. You face...
There's a shot into left field, and that's going to be in there for a single. Taking the big turn at first is Furley, showing some of that aggressive bat style that he has, and he ripped that one into left field right over the head of the shortstop, Heldenkamp.
Yeah, I think he said, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on you, fool me 3 times, you know, shame on you, because 3 consecutive curveballs, and Travis finally said enough of that and slapped it in the left field, so good job.
2 away in the inning. This brings up Ryan Cooper, the left fielder, and Ryan's had a good evening so far. He's been on twice, walked his first time, singled his second plate appearance. Here's a pitch high on the inside, ball 1. Now we'll see if Travis gets a little fleet-footed down at first and tries to steal one with 2 away. And a good hitter at the plate in Cooper. Irvin looks in, but throws over to first instead to Clazel. Back in time is Furley.
And really, you make a good point, especially with 2 outs. You know, you can play a little hit and run and not have to worry about hitting into a double play. You know, you hear the ball hit the bat, and you just keep running if you're a runner.
Irvin looks in for a sack. It's set. It's going to throw it back over to first again. They must be thinking as well that Furley's going to try to go.
Yeah, making him eat a little dirt over there. Slowing down his wheels a little bit. I see him over there kind of bend over with his hands on the knees and says, am I going to get this again or what? You know, but yeah.
Takes his lead. Irvin looks in. And another throw to first.
Oh.
And ball thrown over and gets away from Irvin, but not far enough for Furley to advance. He's going to hang tight. 2 outs in the inning.
Guys, while we've got a second here, we'll tell our listeners that the baseball team, man, and it is really blowing. The baseball team will be in action at the Cuero tournament this weekend, and we'll have some of those games on our Facebook broadcast. Meanwhile, the softball team will be here this weekend, I believe, and in their tournament, and we'll have that on the 89.1 FM.
Here's a pitch from Irvin. Sails outside for a ball.
Well, actually, the strike, he swung through it, and
did swing.
And threw him a little off-speed pitch, and Cooper was way in front of it.
There goes Furley down to second. The pitch is called a strike. Irvin's throwing to Cooper. And Cooper gave that one up and let his man steal second.
Yeah, good job. You know, that's teamwork right there, trying to let him get him in scoring position so he could, if he does get the base hit, he can get him to score. So down to count 1-2.
Here comes Irvin with the pitch. That one's grounded up the middle. Helmkamp behind the bag at second. Throws over to first to Clazel for out number 3. But the Leopards do put up another run on the board and go up on top of the Wildcats by the score of 4-2. We've completed 4 here at the Leopard Stadium.
And we'll be back with more play-by-play and action from Leopard Stadium with this matchup between Weimer and LaGrange when we come back right after this.
Headquartered in Brenham, Texas, TFE Company is a pioneer in molded polymers. For nearly half a century, TFE Company has raised the standard of what it means for plastic to be a high-performance plastic. No matter the application, TFE Company parts insulate and maintain product purity. Best of all, they're virtually maintenance-free. For extreme performance, visit the company's website at tfecompany.com. This is John Criswell from Manufacturing Marvels.
John Askins and Eddie Oppermann, along with James Aymond, we're headed to the top of the 5th inning with LaGrange leading Weimer 4-2.
About the Grange traveling down to Cuero for the Cuero tournament. Have the schedule right here, and Thursday we're actually playing Yoakum at 6. That's actually start off the tournament playing Edna at 2:30 on Thursday, and Yoakum at 6. Yoakum's got a very good ball team, 3A speed, but recently dropped down to 3A, but have a lot of seniors. They have like a 7 senior starting lineup, much like LaGrange, and then play in the Cowboys. Don't know a whole lot about them. I know on Saturday LaGrange comes up and plays El Campo, a very good program. They actually have a player over there, their first baseman is going to play at Texas A&M, Reed Penrath, who actually played for me. So very talented young man, going to play for A&M. So and usually El Campo feels a very good team, and I don't think that's going to be any different than they go into pool play on Saturday. So be interesting. Hopefully weather holds up, and like we talked about earlier, got to get those at bats in and get prepared for district. So good tournament for them to be in, and looking forward to it.
We're getting set for play here in the top of the 5th inning. Up to bat for the Wildcats is going to be Kobe Reinashek. Swings at the first pitch, grounds it to third. Rechek attempted to make a bare hand stab and throw and can't quite get the handle on it. And Reinashek's going to be safe at first.
Yeah, I think that's a tough play. I think that's a base hit all the way.
Yeah, we'll score that as a base hit. It was a tough play. And, you know, it was good to see him really be aggressive and come after the ball, because that's what you got to understand. Kind of barehanded it. I think you got to understand, and that's one thing you'll learn, that as a player, playing third base and other positions, but especially third base, understand who's at bat. You know, understand, do they have speed, wheels when they're at bat, and kind of on that play, he probably could have maybe filled that ball with his glove instead of hitting it in, and I think he had a little more time than he thought. But you know, but I'm sitting right here, and he's playing the game, so he made a decision, and great job.
Looks like you got a pinch hitter there, Eddie.
Coming up for the Wildcats to pinch hit, it's going to be number 12. I don't have a 12 on my score sheet. Oh, it's okay. This is Justin Jacobs. He's not pinch hitting. He's the number 9 hitter. He walked his first time and then was thrown out stealing by Blackwell.
Well, it's possibly maybe they have a courtesy runner, because there was a definite visit with the umpire for a change.
You are correct about that. Zane Blaha is in as a courtesy runner, and he's running for Reinashek down at first.
Well, actually, I'd say Reinashek out there in first base, number 21. I don't know what that discussion was about out there.
Maybe he was just getting his autograph, because the ump was writing everything he was saying down.
21, 31. 31 is Blah, and you're right. That is Reinashek is still down there.
So the hitter tried to lay down the bunt, bunted a foul, third baseman very close on the grass.
And that pitch is going to hit Jacobs. He's going to take the trot down the first. Reinashek moves down to second, and the Wildcats are set up for business here in the top of the fifth. Nobody out, runners on first and second. And now you turn it back over to the top of the lineup, and here's Zach Kunitz.
And here we got to see, you know, that's why you play these games early in the season, get ready for district, you know, kind of get your groove on, find out about different kids and all that. And this is a prime example with Parker on the mound. Hasn't had a lot of experience, so they throw him out there and let's see what you got. You know, let's see how you perform under pressure with no outs and runners on first and second, top of the lineup. It's about as hot as you can get.
Gage looks in, pitch sails high and away for a ball. Kunz was showing a bunt like he was going to move the runners up.
And you know, sometimes coaches will do that because they want to see if the third base is going to bite on the bunt. And if he does bite, that leaves third base uncovered by the defense, and you know, the runner can go over there and walk to the bag and still be safe. So it's a lead by the third base on how the ball is bunting and what he does.
Here's Gage. Looks the runner back to second.
And he had it picked off if he just let it go wide right at the beginning there. But, you know, that's going to come. Those type of plays are tough. You got to practice those a lot, those pick-off plays at second, and to get some game reps in there between your shortstop and second baseman and pitchers.
Gage gets set, looks in, makes his pitch, swing and a miss. Must have foul-tipped it as it went back to the backstop. Just got a piece of it.
You see the Weimer runners really playing cat and mouse with Parker Gage, trying to distract him, trying to get some big leads. They're using West Aymond on the shortstop to trying to keep the run at second at bay.
Gage gets set, makes his pitch. This one's lined in the left field. Cooper comes in, makes a nice play. He's going to throw it down to second, and that's going to be a double play.
Great play. Really, that's a hard lead, a hard ball to catch because it's dying and it's sailing off to your right, and made a great play and got up off the ground and threw it to second and a strike. So really nice play by Ryan Cooper.
That was like a pop-up slide. He just came out of that catch, throwing to second.
Absolutely, great job.
Kunz hit the ball hard. He just hit it right at him, and Reinashek, being aggressive at second, thought that ball was going to fall in, and he was easily doubled up. So Leopards' cause worked out for that one. That makes 2 outs in the inning. First pitch from Gage, called a strike on Trenton Chenard, center fielder for the Wildcats this evening. Chenard struck out his last time at bat. Waiting on deck, the shortstop, Carter Helmkamp. Jacobs taking his lead off of first. They tried to upset the rhythm of Gage, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
No, you hear a little chirping from the Weimer dugout, so, he stepped off and Parker did reevaluated, and he's ready to go for throws first pitch for a ball. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 1-1 now, second pitch.
Two outs in the inning. We're in the top of the fifth. Leopards on top 4-2. That one sails over the top of the head of Chenard as he ducks.
Yeah, Parker's being very careful with the hitter. He's got two outs, and sometimes you can be a little too picky as a pitcher, and try to do too much yourself, and so you like to see him maybe go after this hitter with two outs and get out and go back to dugout.
Pitch down in the dirt. Blackwell blocks it, but not enough as it skims off to the right and down to second. It's going to go Jacobs, gets himself in scoring position.
Well, Noah Blackwell, the catcher for LaGrange, did everything he could to get that ball to stay in front of him. He leaned over and got in front of it, and the ball just took a wicked hop and caught the upper part of his chest. So that wasn't from a lack of effort.
No, he didn't have. He did everything he could, like you said. That was just really going to be a difficult pitch to handle.
One of the things about the Leps that you have to like is the leadership behind the plate in Noah Blackwell. And with a good pitching staff led by Mason Muras, I think LaGrange does have some pretty good prospects this year.
Absolutely. Noah does a great job. I don't know if there's anybody on the team that works harder than Noah day in and day out. And those who got to watch some football games this year, you'd see him playing safety, and he just, whatever he does, it's all out. And you really got to admire that for him.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The last pitch called a strike. Page down with a full count to Chenard. Down at second is Jacobs. Here's the pitch. Tapped out in the front of the mound. Blackwell on it quick as a cat. Throws down the first to Saki for out number 3.
Good job by Noah. Took his time, set his feet, and fired one the first. Great job.
We're going to the bottom of the fifth. LaGrange Leopards 4, Weimer Wildcats 2.
Back with more LaGrange Leopard baseball right after these words. All right.
The Fayette County Record newspaper is proud to support this broadcast of LaGrange Athletics. The Fayette County Record is the largest circulation newspaper between Austin and Houston, with 6,000 copies sold each issue. It comes out twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays and is mailed to subscribers and also sold at 51 area locations, and also online at FayetteCountyRecord.com and Facebook for regularly updated local news.
All right, we're back. LaGrange leading Weimer 4-2. We're headed to the bottom half of the fifth inning, and here's Eddie and James.
Earlier about LaGrange going down to the Quarto tournament and playing some quality teams, including Campo, who has a very good program year in and year out. Well, there's also a new team on LaGrange's schedule, and that's February 27th. They play Wembley, Texas, in Wembley. Got a chance to do a little research in them, and I think they were like a semi-finalist last year, which means they were like one step away from the state tournament, and they are returning a slew of players, including 2 or 3 really good pitchers. So LaGrange is going to travel out there on a Tuesday night, and that's right after the Quarter tournament, and play them, and that's going to be a real interesting, probably first really true test. They're going to play good teams with LaGrange before, but first really good true test to see where they're at that time.
Leopards getting ready to start things off here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Irvin back on the mound for the Wildcats. And Noah Blackwell will lead things off for LaGrange. Noah's had a good evening so far. He walked in the first inning and had a triple in this last at bat over the left fielder's head. So he's looking to add to that. First pitch to Irvin, swing and a miss.
And he takes a triple-like tight cut on that one. So he is first. Be interesting to see. This is I believe Holt Ovan's third inning to face the Leopards, and be interesting to see what these hitters they've been sitting on the bench watching other hitters hit for Grange do with him.
That pitch to Blackwell. Curveball sails inside for a ball.
Especially with the meteor order coming up in your third, fourth hitters.
Blackwell followed by Aymond and Rechek in this inning.
You know, you were talking about Noah playing the football, and he is also on the swim team, and I think he's ranked second in his class.
Wow, great job. Yeah, I noticed. I've seen some accolades on the paper and other sports outlet. And on your side as well, John, a picture of the swim team. And I know the swim team, they got to compete. Their district's pretty big, made up of 5 and 5A schools and stuff like that, and done a very good job competing at that level.
That pitch sails up and in for a ball. Irvin set. Here's the pitch to Blackwell. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Noah. Tight ball game tonight, 4-2. Here in the bottom of the 5th. LaGrange on top. Blackwell with a good eye takes that one low and outside for ball 4 and takes the trot down to first base.
Well, you see there, it's quite obvious Weimer has a game plan against LaGrange and their hitters. They will not give in, even though they're behind in the count, even with a 3-2 pitch to these hitters. Irvin just threw Blackwell a curveball and missed with it with a 3-2 count. So Weimer's showing a lot of respect to these hitters.
Very much so, and LaGrange showing a lot of patience as well at the plate tonight. This brings up Aymond. First pitch sails up and in for a ball.
Interesting leaving Blackwell in for the catcher instead of putting him in for a coach runner. I know they have a lot of confidence in Noah's a very intelligent player, and I'm sure they feel that's the way to go right now. And it's early in the season, so his legs are probably still fresh.
Yep. They do take a wear and a tear, though, behind that plate,
yes,
don't
they? Yes, they do.
Big time. Irvin takes a look over, gets set, gets ready for the throw, and here it is. It's going to be popped up on the infield. Clazel at first over into foul territory, and the wind's going to just take it out of his reach.
Looks like Candlestick Park tonight. The wind just took that away from the first.
Yeah, that was pretty high, and that's a tough play. I mean, it looks easy sitting in right here, but I guarantee you, I've been out there, and it's a tough play to make. So Wesson lives to see another day. 1-1 count. Let's see if he takes advantage of it.
Blackwell takes his lead off of first. Irvin's going to throw over. Back in. Ball skips away from Clazel, but not near far enough for Blackwell to advance. Sure, the Leopards at this point would like to add a little bit to that score that's pretty tight right now, 4-2. Leopards on top. We're playing in the bottom of the 5th. And as James indicated, the meat of the lineup up for LaGrange right now. That pitch is inside. Blackwell's going to go down to second easily. Unable to manage it, and made it easy for Blackwell to scoot down to second.
Yeah, good job by Noah getting a very good jump on the pitcher. I think they were thinking Wesson was going to probably see a curveball, and that'd be a good pitch to run on, but now it's 2-1 and up in the count. Let's see what he gives him.
Pitch to Aymond. Low and outside. Ball 3. Being careful with Aymond. They don't want to give him too much good to hit at.
No, really hadn't had a whole lot all night long to hit, but, that's showing a little respect.
Weston has walked his first time up, grounded out to short his second time. That pitch called a strike. Evens it up at 3-2.
And you see Weston halfway swinging. He looks back at the umpire and asks him, hey, was that going to be a strike if I wouldn't have swung or not? And that's good. That's good because you get an understanding of the umpire of what he's calling.
Weston stays alive, files that one over the LaGrange dugout.
Good job. Outside curveball. It probably would have been a strike, and it was a very good pitch, and he did everything he could do to just foul it off and live to see another day and try to pick up that RBI at second base with a base hit.
He's already got one tonight. His last time up on that ground out to short brought in a run. Good opportunity to get a second with Blackwell down at second. Irvin gets set. Here's the pitch. Right back here at the screen. Good thing we got a good screen.
Absolutely.
Of course, John would have caught it. There, yeah. He had it all the way. Aymond set at the plate. Irvin set on the mound. Here's the 3-2, and this one's going to be fouled back as well. Weston doing a good job hanging. Blackwell. That one's
it's
to shallow. Little damage on that one, and everybody's going to be safe as moves up to second. Blackwell takes third.
And you see right there, that's a prime example. You got two seniors on the base pass, one at first and one at second. That ball was almost be able to be ruled a infield fly rule, but it was a little too far out. You could tell the right fielder was having trouble fielding the ball, and those runners fell in the bag. They came off about 20 or 30 feet. When they saw it drop, they were able to get to the bag before the right fielder was able to throw it in for the force out. So if they don't do that, there's going to be a force out thrown somewhere. So excellent job by the two seniors on the base path.
Real good job reading that, because that could have very easily been caught.
And now we got bases loaded, and we got a hit by pitch. So number 10, Shaq, gets an RBI, and here we see now that things are kind of looking like a little bit unraveling. This is the third inning. They've seen this pitcher, and Grange is doing some good things now. Very good at bats. Not a lot of base hits, but quality. You get on base. Very good patience up there. We've seen that all game long with LaGrange.
That's actually the second time tonight that Sankey's been hit by a pitch.
We know there's a kid that plays for LSU. He's a 4-year senior. He hit a home run. His name is Bo Jordan, and he actually set the national record for being hit by pitches in high school. It's unreal how many times he got hit. And he's at LSU now, and he's way above everybody else and get hit by pitches. So maybe Saki's one of them kids that who gets hit. That's take it for the team. That's awesome. That's what teamwork does, and your team will thrive on that. Instead of you ducking out of the way, sacrificing your body. It's a big thing.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Chorinth. Cameron struck out his first time up tonight, but got a single to left in his last at bat.
2-1 count now. That last pitch was just off the plate, and that umpire lifted up his arm and put it back down and called it a ball. So it was really close.
Pitch by Irvin. This time it's lined into left field. That's going to get a run in, and the bases are going to remain loaded.
And good job by Cameron Jordan. That's 2 hits tonight for him. They get 1 RBI and both to left field, and great job, scored a run. Weimer did a good job hitting a cutoff man to prevent another run coming in. So bases loaded, still no outs. LaGrange's bats are getting hot. 6-2, looking good.
Five to 2, LaGrange ahead this evening. Irvin makes his pitch. Umpire calls it strike 1.
Good job by Cole. I like that. He took it. It was a strike, but it was a high curveball, and if he just wanted that, probably only bad things would have happened. So that's pretty impressive.
Here's a pitch called strike 2.
Almost the same pitch.
Almost.
So we saw him do the pitcher with Ryan Cooper, and then Ryan Cooper smacked the base hit on the third curveball. So let's see if this happens again.
Nobody out. Bases loaded for the Leopards.
Yep, 3 curveballs in a row. Cole did an excellent job staying off that pitch. It was a ball, and a great job.
Cole struck out his first time this evening, had a sacrifice bunt in his second plate appearance. Irvin looks in. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Cole couldn't quite make contact on that one.
No, those 3 curveballs, you know, that's the thing. You throw those curveballs, and you have that time, and it's slow, and slow. Next thing you know, they're slamming a fastball at you, man. It's almost unfair, and that's kind of what they did to Cole. But you know, early in the season, and he'll get better at that. Here's Parker Gage up. Let's see if he can help his cause with 1 out, and the base is still loaded for LaGrange.
There's a line shot, but right at the second baseman. Jacobs throws to first to Clazel. Not in time. That was close, but Jorans got back.
And very close play. You see the Weimer head coach is coming out and asking for an appeal from the home plate umpire from the field umpire. See if he maybe had a better angle or saw something on it. It was a man play. So let's see what they come up with here. Yeah.
They are going to appeal it, and it's going to go Weimer's way.
I was afraid of that. You know, he probably was out. It looks like I know Clazel was off the bag, and he got thrown to it, and they tagged him. And there was a little gap between the runner and the base, and I know the field umpire had a hard time seeing that part. And home plate umpire had a little better vision. But anyhow, good inning for LaGrange.
All right, we've got a discussion at home plate. Let's take it back to the studio, and we'll come back with more LaGrange Leopard baseball right after this word.
Hi, we're Tony and Tracy Jones, agent owners of Jones Insurance Services.
Originally founded as the Lindemann Agency in 1957, Jones Insurance Services was incorporated 14 years ago.
To our clients, we thank you for the many years of letting us provide for your insurance needs.
And we welcome you to call to review and update your important insurance coverages.
And if you're not yet a client, we invite you to come by our office or call so we can make a difference in your personal business protections.
That's Jones Insurance Services, proudly serving Fayette and surrounding counties.
John Askins, James Aymond, and Eddie Oppermann were kicking off the baseball season in LaGrange, and the Leopards are on top 6-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. And I believe that's correct. Or did they already have the 0 on top of the scoreboard again?
Top of 6, I think, right? Yeah, it is the top of the
6. Yes.
Top of the 6. All right. Okay.
Yeah, we got to understand something. You know, it's O'Don Cater. It's his opening night too. So I guess he's trying to get in the groove. He's up in the press box running the scoreboard. So we'll give him a little slack tonight. But we'll have to maybe have a little talk with him after the game.
Yeah, our opening night as well, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We're getting adjusted as well to this.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if John is really knowing what he's doing, allowing me to do this play-by-play. I haven't done this in so long. We're not going to talk about how long ago because it would give my age away. So
yeah, I guess it's like riding a bike. You've done an excellent job tonight. You don't forget how to do it, and it's a pleasure working with you.
Likewise, James. Thank you. Appreciate the knowledge of the team that you've brought to the table this evening. It's been magnificent to have all of that.
Well, I appreciate it. It's going to be a fun season and enjoyable to watch. And here we have Parker Gage up on the bump again with an 0-2 count. So good start to the inning against the Weimer hitter.
Carter Elkamp, the shortstop, leads off for the Wildcats here in the top of the 6th. That ball is lined into left center field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Chorin's over to pick it up and get it back in.
Yeah, he threw him a high curveball. He left it up hanging a little bit, and that's one of them things that it's good to see him getting these reps because he'll probably go back and think about that and saying, hey, we can get that ball down a little bit, and I'm sure that's what he'll do next time. And as the season goes on, learning his craft on the mound, so to speak. So Carter's got some pretty good wheels out there. And with no outs and Weimer up down by 4 runs, let's see if they try to get something going here.
Riedlinger, the cleanup hitter for the Wildcats, started as the pitcher this evening. Gage keeping a look at Hillcamp on first. That pitch called a strike, evens it up at 1-1.
One thing about it, if it's a catcher, when somebody runs on you early in the game and you throw them out, you seem the game a little respect, and I think that's what Noah Blackwell has gotten from Weimer, because they don't seem to be pushing issues for us getting on.
That ball is skied into center field. Chorins goes back, then comes in, makes the catch. Nice play by Cameron in center field.
Good job. We talked earlier about how a hit earlier to when Parker Gage was playing center field, that he kind of drifted back a little bit to the ball and then, couldn't quite get back to it. Cameron did the opposite. Cameron first stepped back when the ball was hit to him and kept going back and got underneath the ball very well. So good job by Cameron.
Riedlinger, the cleanup hitter for the Wildcats, he hits the ball hard. He's a good hitter.
Absolutely, pretty good looking athlete, especially on the mound. It seemed like you got a future there, and tall kid, tall drink of water. Put some little meat and potatoes on him, and he's really going to be something.
Batter up for the Wildcats is Holt Irvin. Holt started tonight at third base. He's now been pitching for the last several innings. So far this evening, Holt has struck out and walked, and he's down in the count right now to Gage 0-2.
And Gage doing a good job this inning, getting ahead in the count on these hitters.
Parker's pitch fouled off at the plate. Count holds at 0-2.
Here's where you'd really like to see your infield turn one and get out of this inning. Not sure how much Parker has left in the tank as far as pitching-wise tonight. Early in the season, not really used to doing a whole lot of pitching, so it's his third inning, so we'll see here.
Parker winds and sets. That pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gage also slowed it down a little bit, taking his time on the mound. Looks in for a sign from Blackwell. Comes set.
There it is.
Ground ball to second. Furley has it. Steps on the bag. He's going to flip it to Aymond for the out. Looked like for a second he was going to step on the bag himself, but couldn't quite get good control of it to get that double play.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would have been a hard one.
I don't know if he stomped his toe out there on the dirt when he fielded it, or and it kind of took him towards the bag, or what, because that was a situation where you would flip to your shortstop, but those kind of things happen. He did a good job. They got the out. They got the lead runner. It's 2 outs. That's what counts, So, like I said, that middle infield combination probably the best in the district.
Next up for the Wildcats, first baseman Nick Clazel. Gage is pitching the dirt for a ball.
And I say middle infield. I should say middle all the way, the heart of the infield, including the catcher. Very blessed to have the athletes we have there in LaGrange this year.
Pitch from Gage, just inside for a ball, 2-0. And looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner. Number 31, Zane Blaha. Going down the first to run for Irvin.
And we see here with a 2-0 count, with 2 outs, run on first. We'll see maybe if Weimer puts on a little bit of hit and run, kind of get things going and get that runner at first a head start for scoring position.
Ground ball chopped foul down the third baseline. Clazel struck out his first at bat and then had a sac fly to Brothers in right his last at bat to bring in a run. 2 outs in the inning. We're in the top of the 6th. LaGrange on top 6-2. Gage throws. That one's chopped foul, this time down the first base line.
Once again, if you're LaGrange, you're playing your defense. You're playing pretty deep all the way around, except at first base for the first baseman holding up the runner, because you've got a hitter at the plate that hits the ball pretty hard, doesn't have a lot of speed. So if you can get to a ball by playing deep and knocking it down, and you have a chance to throw him out at first, and as well as maybe making a play at second if that's the easiest spot to go to.
That pitch sails high and away. Blackwell showing his leadership, stepping out and calling out to his infielders, making them aware of what the situation is. Let's see senior leadership goes a long way. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Good pitch by Gage, up around the letters, and he got him for out number 3. So Weimer unable to score here in the top of the 6th. And we're going to move to the bottom half here shortly with the LaGrange Leopards on top, 6-2.
James, why don't you detail the schedule for the Leopards that we've got coming up?
Well, coming up, of course, we've already mentioned the Quail tournament coming up this weekend, and hopefully the baseball gods allow us to play. The weather's good. And then we got the Wembley, who we also talked about on Tuesday. Then from there, we'll go to Kilgore March 1st through 3rd. They play a doubleheader on Thursday, and Friday and Saturday each have a game. And then we start comeback March 6th and start district play with Giddings. That's going to be interesting. Giddings and LaGrange had some battles last year, and Giddings won the series, the season series with that, and wound up winning the district. And LaGrange coming out second. But we had a lot of players out last year, and now we got them back. And so it's going to be interesting. And I can tell you right now, these young LEP players, especially seniors, have a little bit of chip on their shoulder, and they really want to get a district championship this year. But then coming back, we have after that, from March 8th through the 10th, we actually LaGrange has their own tournament, and that's they'll be hosting teams both here at LaGrange baseball field and there's the fairgrounds. Big tournament. Everybody looks forward to it, and 2 quality fields, and then we get Navasota, Caldwell, and then actually a play on the 24th against El Campo. So, and then we go on for district play, and one I'd like to point out to end the season, or maybe not end the season, but to catapult the team into the playoff race is April 24th against Houston Christian right there at Baseball USA. Great facility, and the school's located right there, and that'll be fun. That'll be a fun little road trip at a great facility.
One of the things that I enjoyed last year, and I think you guys will too, is last year I think was the first year they went to this 3-game series in district play. And what it really enabled, I think, everybody to learn some of the players on the other team. It was like a 3-game series instead of 1 game, and players come through and that's all you get. But I enjoyed that 3-game series with the district opponents.
Oh, absolutely. It's fun, and you play each other one time, and then you come back and you generally you're over it. You go play somebody else. You shift your thought process.
Right.
But then you come back and play them 2 days later, and there's some hard feelings, kind of, especially if you lose. And you could see the tension and how everybody's up for it. So yes, you're right. It's fun. It creates quality baseball, and that's always awesome for a fan and the players.
We've got a substitution for Weimer. Got a new right fielder. I'll see if I put the glasses on it and find out who that is. Can you see his number?
I think that would be number 8, Garrett Olive.
Okay.
And you see the Weimer coach, Coach Miller, been there 6 years, Sure, they want to win, but, these early games, you want to see faces out there, different faces, and giving them opportunity to make their mark and show what they can do. So, that it's good to see that. It's good to see players getting opportunities to play.
Holt Irvin back for another inning of work for the Wildcats. And leading off for LaGrange here in the bottom half of the 6th inning is going to be Travis Furley.
And, here we're on top of the lineup, and here we see the curveballs again. Weimer definitely had a plan coming here, throwing off speed, top of the lineup quite a bit of off speed. So they've seen a lot, and top of the lineup really hasn't gotten a whole lot of good pitches to see. And it's really given the lower part of the lineup an opportunity to get some RBIs, and they've done a good job.
1 ball, 1 strike count to Furley. He skies this one into left field. And the left fielder is going to get over by the fence in foul territory and make the catch for out number 1.
And really nice job. You saw the left fielder. He was going to be fouled by a lot. And what he did, he ran all the way as hard as he could to the boundary, as far as he could, and then camped up under it. He didn't just try to get there as the ball got there. So excellent job.
Brings up Ryan Cooper, the left fielder for the Leopards. Ryan has had a good night. He's had a walk, a single, and also a ground out to short. Little towards the first baseman who can't make the play, and Cooper's going to be safe. That's number 7 back over now at first. That's Cater Garcia. Evidently, he came in as a replacement for Nick Clazel.
And I have to laugh because I hear somebody in the stands. I think it was his dad saying Merry Christmas. And yeah, you're right. And I'm sure they'll talk about it when they get home. Yeah, that was a little bit of a gift. But you know what? And he didn't have any strikes on him. Maybe that was a pitch you, as a hitter, you really don't want to be swinging at, without any strikes. But, you get some taken away, you get some given to you, and it all evens out. So, that needs to be a little easy on him.
Throw over to first by Irvin. Cooper gets back in time.
Now, come on, the dads are the toughest ones, right? Dad, right?
Well, we've had some brutal conversations on the way home in earlier years, so yeah, you're right. But at the end, you just want what's best for your child and then be the best that they can be. So, yeah.
Cooper was on the run on that pitch, but Blackwell fouls it back into the screen. No ball, swing strike to count.
And I really, it's 6-2, LaGrange up by 4 with Weimer only having 3 outs to go in the ball game at the plate. But you want to see some more hits coming up here. You not to run up the score on Weimer or anything, but you want to get more at bats as much as you can because you want to reach that 20 or 25 at bat milestone at the beginning of the season. That's when a hitter really kind of starts to find his groove and relax at the plate.
Irvin throws, little grounder to second, and it's not going to be handled. Everybody's going to be safe. Error on the second baseman on that one. Blackwell's been on base now 4 times tonight. Sometimes you come in on those plays and you just want to get to it so fast and make that out, and it just somehow a little.
Yeah, that ball had a little bit. I think Noah kind of hit on it with his bat, and it had a little funky English to it, but the kid came up hard too. He went to get the ball, and that's what you want to see. Sometimes the process is better, and not better, but it means sometimes more than the end result.
There's a pitch to Aymond, and he lines that one into left field. Cooper is going to round third. He's going to come in to score easily. Base hit RBI for Weston Aymond. He tagged that one.
Very good job. I mentioned earlier that they've been throwing the top of the lineup, all curveballs, a lot of curveballs and all that. And Weston went up there, and I think he said enough of it. He says, I'm tired of walking, and I got some ducks on the pond here, and you throw me a curveball, and I'm going to swing, and it was a high level ball, so a little inside, and he really turned hard on it. Good job by Weston.
Wyatt Wicken is the courtesy runner down at second base for Blackwell. Jeffrey Redchick now steps in for the Leopards. Here's a pitch, swung on foul back, and
good good swing there by Jeffrey the third baseman for the Grange. He's not a timid kid. He's had an error. He's had a couple tough at bats, but you really hadn't seen him affected, and I think that's part of it because of his personality, but also because of the senior leadership of the Grange.
Jeffrey struck out his first time, but he flew out to center and had a single to right his last at bat. Throw down to second on the pickoff. It sails to center field. Wick's not going to be able to advance as the center fielder quickly gets it back in. LaGrange holds with runners on first and second. One out, bottom of the sixth. Leps up by the score of 7-2. They're trying to hold Wick on at second. Irvin looks back. And now comes set, makes the pitch to the plate. That one's going to be flied into right field. New right fielder that just came in and makes the catch. That's Garrett Oliver. Or Garrett Olive, I should say. I don't know where I got the R from.
I think I said it. I think I said it his. I'm a bad influence. I think I said Oliver. Now I come to think of it, I look back at it. You're right, he is Oliver. So, yeah. Blame that one on me.
I know. We're almost a good team, right?
You did write this. So,
this is true. It is my writing.
Yeah.
Well, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So runners at first and second, and first baseman number 10, Shockey up to the plate. He'd be good. He's been hit twice tonight.
Twice tonight. Struck out in between, but 2 hit by pitches. 2 outs in the inning. Irvin looks in. Here's the pitch, down and in for a ball.
And so that's 3 at-bats. He's been hit twice. He's struck out. So how do you look at that? No, he hasn't gotten a base hit, but his on-base percentage is what, 660?
Yeah.
I mean, the on-base percentage is so important. You got to keep, especially hitting on the bottom part of the lineup, you want to keep your lineup turning so you can get your immediate lineup up the bat and drive those runners in. So good job. No base hits, no other that, but he got on base. Good job.
And the other good thing, he's been hit by pitches, but he hasn't gotten hurt.
That's correct.
And towards the inside of that hit by pitch.
And I didn't see him rub it. That's the most important. You don't want to rub it, because if you rub it, you go back to the bench, and man, you talk about get picked on, and so no rubbing.
If he was getting hit in the forearm, I'd say he needs to get like Biggio and get him one of the heads on there.
Absolutely.
But he's taking it on the chest.
Absolutely.
That pitch skips away from Kuntz, the catcher, throws down to third, and easily Wick gets in. Also advancing on the play to second. So the Leopards are going to have runners now on second and third. 2 outs in the inning.
He had 2-2 count on him, and they threw him an outside curveball, and it wasn't close, but it was close enough for him to think about it, but he held off, so good job. He would go deep in the count.
Aymond takes his lead off second, Wick off third, and that's going to be a called strike 3 to end the inning. But the Leps get another run, advance. They're moving to the top of the 7th. LaGrange ahead, 7-2.
You're listening to LaGrange Leopard Baseball on KTIM 89.1 in Ellinger, LaGrange, Texas. Glad you're with us tonight, wherever you're listening or watching, whether you're listening on the line or watching online. Drop us a note at info@ktim.com. I'm sorry, it's ktim.org, O-R-G. And let us know, where you're listening to the ball game and what we can do. And just any type of feedback you want to give us, send it to info@ktim.org. As we go to the top of the 7th, this is the last at-bats for the Weimer Wildcats. And looks like Parker Gage will be back on the mound again.
And Johnson, people listen from all over. I actually have some people listening from back in Louisiana.
Well,
so you got some new listeners.
One of the amazing things about the internet is last year when we were broadcasting the Fayetteville Lions, on their quest for the state championship, one of the players, Cole Mao, his dad flies for United Airlines, and he listened to one of the complete playoff games in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
That is awesome.
So it is pretty awesome.
Like I said, John, you do a great job, and I can't imagine too many baseball high school programs have this kind of opportunity to media opportunity of exposure.
Back out for the final inning is going to be Parker Gage, and first pitch sails high for ball 1. At the plate is Garrett Olive. He went in as a substitution to right field for Houston Hager the inning before. There's a pitch on the outside corner called strike.
And Weimer here, we hear the bottom 3 in their order. And I imagine the conversation in the dugout before Parker came out was, hey, let's go at these hitters. Let's let our defense do our work, and let's go home and eat supper.
Pitch in the dirt. Ball 2.
And, I kind of picked up on it from Parker last inning. Little indications that maybe he's tired, like I said, early in the season and all that, but kind of dropping his arm angle a little bit, pushing the ball a little bit, not quite staying on top. And that's a sign a little bit of fatigue as a pitcher. And, hopefully he can get through here, and they won't have to go another pitching change. And with the shortage of pitchers they have with injuries right now, hopefully he can get through his inning, and we can all go home.
That ball chopped foul down the third baseline by Olive. Makes the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Colby Reinashek and then Justin Jacobs set to come up in the remainder of this inning. That pitch sails high.
There's an indication right there. How he kind of drop his arm a little bit and push the ball, then get on top of it, and the ball stays high. And that's an indication that pitchers kind of get a little fatigued. Sometimes you work through it and you get through it. Sometimes you can't.
A reminder, our listeners, if you join us late or if you did not watch the video stream, that is going to be archived just, within 15 minutes after the ball game's over. You'll be able to go to our website, ktim.org, and watch the whole ball game. That's another good thing about, streaming video.
Down at first as Olive brings up the next batter, Kobe Reinashek. Gage throws in. That ball skips away from Blackwell. He finally locates it back here behind the plate. Easily moving down the second is Olive. 1 strikes.
And here we see that runner, Parker and the rest of the Grange team. Sure, you need to kind of keep it intact with that runner, but he is really not very important right now. You want to get outs. You want to get the hitter. You want to attack it. You want to get up in the count. You're down. You're up 7-2, 5 runs. You're the better team. You need to show it, get off the field.
Here's a pitch from Gage. Ooh, just misses on the outside. 2-0.
Yeah,
Parker won it.
He kind of grinced, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's kind of having a hard time finding the strike zone now, and every once in a while need a little help from the home plate umpire. I don't know. I don't guess the home plate umpire. I don't think he's hungry yet. Not ready to go home. He's tired.
2-0 pitch down in the dirt. Runner's going to break for third. Olive, and the throw down by Blackwell is not going to be in time.
And good hustle by Blackwell. He did a good job of blocking it, and like you said earlier, like a cat out of the box, just got out there and made it clear, and it really should have been at third base.
Yeah, he's quick behind that.
Yes. He doesn't. What we call, he doesn't sit in that chair. He doesn't sit in that lounge chair. He gets on the balls in his feet, and he sticks his rear end up and ready to go.
Ronishek takes that pitch outside for ball 4, and the Wildcats now have runners on first and nobody out. And I'm sure, James, this early in the season, Parker hasn't thrown this many pitches in probably a long
time. And I was looking towards the bullpen area. I don't see anybody warming up. I see Coach Bubba going out now, but he's definitely tired. I mean, I don't know if he has a whole lot left in him. And so here they're going to make a pitching change. It looks like Coach Bubba's going to be one of the pitches.
He's got the ball in his hand.
He's deliberating right now. Let's see. He's deliberating now. He's going to throw. Okay, they're going to bring him top of the ball game this season. And then they're going to bring him in and put Blackwell at first base and play first base, and we're going to have a new catcher behind the plate.
Looks like that's going to be number 17, Colton Whitaker.
Colton Whitaker, yes, sir. Colton is a sophomore. He moved in from the Round Rock area 2 years ago, so he started here as a freshman at LaGrange for baseball. I watched him a little bit last year. Been watching him this year. He's very efficient behind there. Does a good job. Has a strong arm. And so I haven't really seen a whole lot of bats. I've watched Age a little bit. He does a good job. He's a hard worker. So he's going to be the heir apparent to Blackwell when he leaves. And it was nice to see when Blackwell went to take off his gear and get on before he went to first. He went to home plate and patted him on the shoulder and said, "You got it." So it's, again, I keep talking about it, and I can't talk about it enough. People probably gonna get tired of it, but seeing leadership means so much, and that was a good sign. So anyhow, here we go, new pitcher.
There's no doubt about it what that brings to team chemistry and just brings the whole team concept together.
Yeah, and we talk about something else here. We talk about these kids have been able to start practicing per UIL by January 26th was their first practice as a team. But I can tell you right now, I come pick up my daughter at middle school and pass right by the baseball field a lot of times. And during the month of when it was cold and rainy and nasty and unpleasant,
Wow, we just got some more hurricane force winds here. We apologize for the noise, but there's not much we can do other than turn the thing off, which I think we did there. Sackey is on the mound. the JV? Do you know?
Yeah, he has pitched in the big JV. This is his first kind of appearance in varsity, so once again, see what you got. And starts off the first batter with a strike. So I'm sure he was told too, hey Ike's, we need outs. Be aggressive, let your defense do your work, and let's go home.
Justin Jacobs at the plate for the Wildcats. He's the number 9 hitter this evening for them. Next pitch sails up and high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And he kind of has a luxury with the runner at first and third right now. Probably not going to steal with that runner at first. They need base runners, and 7-2, they're not going to take a chance of an out.
Nobody out as we play here in the top of the Leopards on top, 7-2. Wildcats starting to mount up a little bit of a threat here in the top of the 7th. Runners on first and third. Nobody out. And that pitch is in for Cole, strike 3. That's a big out. Get that first one in the 7th, so you can get ready to wrap it up. Zachy gets that one.
Absolutely, and I was kind of watching him, and he kind of has a high leg kick. So there is an opportunity to steal. I see Barber coming out and talking with his defense right now, and I imagine the conversation is right now is you got to run it at first and third. They may want to try to get with 1 out, may want to try to get that runner, and may try to at the same time get that runner second, get that runner home from third. So Weimer may be trying to put on a play at the bag, and maybe I assume Coach Barber's talking to his infield about it and saying, hey, let's not bite. Let's see if we can get an out. Let's get the out with it. That runner at third don't mean a whole lot.
No, right now, as much as Weimer base runners, LaGrange just wants outs. And
correct.
You've got one, and you only need 2 more. So get that easiest, closest out. Don't stress yourself for 2 if you got to, but at least just get that 1. Looks like that Zane Blaha going in once again as a courtesy runner.
So
place for Reinashek at first.
Right, put some speed on the bases. So maybe they are going to do a play with the top of the lineup up. Maybe they are going to try to force an issue. Be interesting to see what Weimer does here.
Zach Kuntz, the catcher, leadoff hitter for the Wildcats tonight, takes the first pitch up and in for ball 1. Zachy looking for 2 more outs, and in this thing where it's at,
then once
just down for a ball.
Once again, you got your middle infield playing halfway for double play depth, and first baseman holding the runner on, third baseman, even with the bag, no threat now.
Pitch from Zachy sails up, makes it 3-0. Zachy right now just looking to throw some strikes. Don't want to give him a free pass to first. Taking all the way.
Took a little off that pitch, tried to get it in the zone. Might have been throwing over pitching a little bit, overthrowing a little bit previous pitches. So, way to get a strike on the board, 3-1 count.
You know the other thing, when you move around like that from the field, because he was playing first, so the only warm-up he had is when he came in. There's a ground ball to second to Aymond. Back to first by Furley. And that's going to get it, a double play to end the game.
And there we see what I've been talking about all game long is the strength of the Grange's middle infield, including the catcher going to exclude Noah Blackwell, and it paid off big time there.
Nice double play to end it, 6-4, and that's the final out of the inning, 7-2, the final score, LaGrange over Weimer. Let's take it back to the studio for a 90-second break. And then we'll come back to recap it and get out of here because it's getting chilly. Besides windy. So we'll take it back after this.
Headquartered in Brenham, Texas, TFE Company is a molded polymer. For nearly half a century, TFE Company has raised the standard of what it means for plastic to be a high-performance plastic. No matter the application, TFE Company parts insulate and maintain product purity. Best of all, they're virtually maintenance-free. For extreme performance, visit the company's website at TFE.com. This is John Criswell from TFE Metals flexes its manufacturing muscle with specified components for the energy sector. Located in Brenham, Texas, halfway between Austin and Houston, TFE Metals specializes in critical application components made of custom high alloys at close tolerance. What makes them critical is their use in subsea drilling, well isolation, and intervention and stimulation. For manufacturing muscle, visit the company's website at tfemetals.com.
Hi, we're Tony and Tracy Jones, agent owners of Jones Insurance Services.
Originally founded as the 1957, Jones Insurance Services was incorporated 14 years ago.
To our clients, we thank you for the many years of letting us provide for your insurance needs.
And we welcome you to call to review and update your important insurance coverages.
And if you're not yet a client, we invite you to come by our office or call so we can make a difference in your personal or business protection.
Probably starting in Fayette. It's wrong.
All right, John Askins along with James Aymond and Eddie Oppermann. Guys, good job for the first night out. We have a winning decision for the LaGrange Leopards. The final there you see on the score. And also we want to tell you, if you're listening on 89.1, that the final was LaGrange 7, Weimer 2. Obviously the first game of the year, and that's a good way to get off to your season.
Yeah, always start off with the wins, a great momentum, builder, and it's what I expected. LaGrange and won, and they had a few errors, but nothing tragic. I saw a lot of good things. I saw what we need to see. I saw with leadership. I saw them swing the bats. I saw patience, and also saw a few early season blunders. But that's all going to work out. And this team, just like I said the other night about the softball, they're going to get better, and they're going to contend. And you can tell they have a lot of 1-2. They have a fire in their belly, and that's good to see.
All right, Eddie, any final comments?
Well, and the other thing that I find interesting, LaGrange managed to put a run on the board every inning tonight except the second. And that's always on the other team when you continue to have base runners and put runners on base and get them in scoring position and just keep moving them along and putting runs on the scoreboard. The other thing, the three pitchers for LaGrange tonight pitched well. Cameron Chorins, Parker Gage, and then Zachy here at the end things up. So good to see those young guys. Not necessarily three pitchers that you would put on the mound in the first game of a playoff, but yet at the same time, they pitched very well this evening.
You know what? You got it. You gave them experience, and that's going to come back to help later on, especially with these tournaments going on. That's what you want, game time experience. So, yeah, very good. And we got some other ball players that aren't out on the field for the injuries in basketball. So we're getting them back, add depth to your team, and things look good. If they can just get on the field and play some ball this weekend, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, we had some players out with the injury. Tyler Johnson did not play tonight, and then, like you mentioned, Mason Muras was not here. He's basketball team, and the basketball team will play in Bastrop tomorrow night against Liberty Hill. I believe the tip-off is at 7 o'clock, and so stay here. We'll have all the scores for you. And before we go off the air, let me check one thing. Again, games coming up on our different platforms, whether it's 89.1 here FM over the air, or whether it's on Facebook, or if it's on our website. We'll have action from the Cuero tournament for the baseball team, and then this weekend also the LaGrange Lady Leps will be a tournament here at the softball complex in LaGrange, and those are both coming up this weekend. Then after that, the softballers go on the road to Rosenberg and play Lamar Consolidated into their tournament. And as you mentioned, James, the baseball go to Wimberley on February 27th, and then the Kilgore tournament March 1st and 3rd before we start district play March 6th against Giddings. So again, thanks for everybody for listening to us on KTIM over the air and also streaming video. The final score tonight, LaGrange 7, Weimer 2. Good night, everybody.
Hi, we're Tony and Tracy Jones, agent owners of Jones Insurance Services.
Originally founded in 1957, Jones Insurance Services was incorporated 14 years ago.
To our clients, we thank you for the many years of letting us provide for your insurance needs.
And we welcome you to call to review and update your important insurance coverages.
And if you're not yet a client, we invite you to come by our office or call so that we can make a difference in your personal or business.
Insurance Services, proudly serving Fayette and surrounding counties.
It's about time, Fayette County. It's about time. It's about K-Time. It's about KTIM FM at 89.1. You found us, and you know that we stand for community involvement. Our Facebook page and also on Twitter. We're the source for local news. We're K-Time